Your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
All right, we made it through 3 hours yesterday. I think we can do it again today. They tell you, like when you're playing golf, when you're out bowling and you have a perfect shot, you're always got to be reminded by somebody.
You
do
don't
it again.
Play.
I've played it enough times to understand that it's incredibly difficult to repeat the perfect golf shot again. It's the same with roll me 12 strikes in a row and see if you can do that. It's pretty tough to do. Maybe sports radio is the outlier, and we can put together even a better 3-hour program than we did yesterday in our first ever jaunt through 3 hours. With you up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, well, this morning for the first hour on Halftime. Phil Elson, Matty T, Drew Barrett, and we'll have Chuck Barrett on with us, bottom of the hour. Chuck will be joining us each and every Tuesday for the foreseeable future till the very end of time. Should be fun talking with Chuck about a number of things. Alyssa Orange will be in hour number 2, Noah in hour number 3. Calls and texts for these next 3 hours are available on our hotline at 877-377-6963. Sounded like somebody. Was that you opening up an ice-cold Coca-Cola?
No, that was
sorry. Well, my mic was off, so only you probably heard that. But no, it was the energy drink. Now that we've gotten to 3 hours, I think I'm going to need a little extra boost.
Yeah, I've increased my coffee intake by exactly 1 extra cup. 1 hour per cup helps you get through the show. Have you increased your Coca-Cola intake, Drew?
I haven't, but I was about to ask, do I need to go from 12-ounce cans to 20-ounce bottles?
Just line up 3 Cokes and pop one and chug it at the start of the hour. We might not let you go on for like the first 2 to 3 minutes of that hour until you relieve the pressure.
Yes, of course.
But it'll certainly help you get through it. And I don't know, you might lead the team in words per minute if you're downing 1 Coke in a chug variety.
Yeah,
right
I'd be pretty
jittery,
I think, by a start of hour number 3 after that third one got to me.
Yeah. Well, I saw this morning. I knew yesterday I saw Nicole Auerbach tweeting about this, and then Sports Business Journal got the scoop on it yesterday that the Big Ten, they're going to be finalizing their media rights pretty soon. Of course, the SEC has finalized their media rights for the most part up until I think it's 2034 when the football package expires with ESPN. It's a separate package from the rest of the media rights that include streaming and SEC Network for all of the other athletics and the SEC, but now that we know that there won't be any more SEC on CBS after the 2024 season, you've got 2 years left, or two seasons left on the contract. 2024, I believe, is when CBS might now start broadcasting the Big Ten, apparently. This coming out yesterday that the Big Ten, who's been a media partner with ESPN for over 40 years now, is probably going with the sort of package that kind of mirrors what you see out of the NFL on each of the different networks. The only difference is the NFL's also on ESPN, and it appears that unless there's some last-minute change, that the Big Ten will be going with a very interesting package that includes Fox at 11 o'clock, CBS at 2:30, right when you're used to your big SEC game, and then NBC for the primetime broadcast. And there could be various deals thrown around involving streaming rights on Peacock or on Amazon or on Apple TV. But you knew you weren't going to have the famous CBS music playing on SEC games anymore after the next 2 seasons. But now you may hear that music, and it's going to be Big Ten instead of watching Alabama, Auburn with that famous music playing in the background and Nessler and Donaldson talking up in the booth. Kind of wonder, are they going to be bringing Gary Donaldson over to Big Ten games? He's got nothing to do with that league. Not like he had much to do with the SEC when he was a part of Missouri, but you know where I'm going with that. Things are changing drastically in the sport of college football. I mean, just look at everything we've talked about up to this point during the offseason. changing the alignment in major leagues with USC and UCLA departing the Pac-12 and heading to the Big Ten. Now you got Oklahoma and Texas coming into the SEC in a couple of years. There's going to be other realignment probably happening across the landscape in another 12 months or maybe about 10 or 11 months or so. Transfer portal, NIL, Wild West, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria, and now one of the bigger changes, which really goes right to the heart at how fans consume the sport. Mm-hmm. And the way you consume that sport, obviously, is the thing that's spending the most money here. Because CBS, which was paying $55 million for SEC games, is now going to be paying $350 million for that one spot in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday for Big Ten games. And that music, I don't know. It feels like it should just be reserved for SEC games. Can ESPN, well, it didn't work this way, Drew. You know that famous NBC, the NBA on NBC music, which was written by John Tesh, really famous. That didn't go over to ABC and ESPN when they got NBA basketball. We don't hear that song any longer. So it's just going to be a little cognitive dissonance once you might flip on the television and you're used to turning on the SEC on CBS for your midday game, and instead of Florida versus Georgia, you got Purdue versus Iowa. It's just, I mean, this is part of the changing landscape. You just have to get used to it, and these media rights are coming out of the next couple of years, so just get used to more of these announcements.
It's just another example of how the world is a-changing. The times have definitely changed, and it's going to be a different atmosphere. It's just going to be a different Saturday. The thing that when I look at these deals that the Big Ten have made with Fox, CBS, NBC, what is proposed with SEC and ESPN and ABC, I was looking at a report earlier today that would basically have ESPN be the prime 11 o'clock game. For the SEC would be the prime 11 o'clock game for ESPN. It'd be the prime 2:30 game for ESPN, and then the SEC or ACC would be the prime game for the 6:30 slot on ABC. That's like all the networks. What happens to the ACC, the Big 12, and the Pac-12? I mean, this is setting this might be the biggest evidence to me of setting up for two super conferences, because we're not hearing reports about what time slots these other conferences' big-time games are going to get. And, while you look at the Pac-12, yes, they lost USC and UCLA, but I think a lot of people would still nationally tune in to an Oregon-Washington game, a big game that Oregon's playing. Or you look at the ACC, I think Florida State still, even though they've had some down years, carry some weight. What are we going to do with Clemson games? And then, of course, if you're able to somehow get a powerhouse out of the remaining Big 12 teams, or, say Cincinnati continues on their rise, or BYU gets back to their heyday of the 80s, where are all these other games going to be played? Are the rest of them going to be relegated down to streaming packages?
None of those leagues any longer have the cachet. You pointed out a couple of different instances and a lot of ifs, which who knows if they'll stick. On a week-by-week basis, you get more marquee matchups in the SEC. Certainly, when you add Texas and Oklahoma, that number increases. Same with moving the two Los Angeles schools into the Big Ten, which already on a week-by-week basis has fairly interesting games. But what you really are seeing too, and I don't know if it lends credence to the idea that you're going to end up with two super conferences. What it does show is that the big money is going to these two leagues, and ESPN has 80 different channels. If they want to show Big 12, you can put a game on ESPNU or ESPN2. Same with ACC, and they, I would imagine maybe the Big 12 may end up launching their own network if they ever get around to it. But the ACC has one, and so there's one. Channel he can show a couple of games on the weekend, and Boston College versus Wake Forest, that kind of thing. All these games have to be televised and streaming too. Like this is the way that we've been taught now, that we've been trained to consume movies and television shows. And now that Apple TV has a Friday night Major League package, Amazon Prime has a weekly NFL game now. I mean, this is how these sports are consumed as well. I don't know if every game will end up on a broadcast network, whether it being over the air or on cable. But they're all going to be televised in some way. And televised now, as much as you might hate it, the times that Arkansas has played on that SEC alternate, and you're not quite sure how to find it. Well, those games are always streaming, and the Big 12, the Pac-12, the other leagues that are fighting for supremacy amongst the Group of Five, they'll have their games on television, but these are the ones that are being paid. The leagues that are being paid incredible amounts of money. It is kind of interesting to note that the SEC generates $300 million for their contract for just the Saturday, midday game, 2:30 on ABC, for $300 million in the deal that begins in 2024. And I don't know how long this Big Ten matchup, this Big Ten deal with CBS will last. I imagine it lasts about the same amount of time, but they're going to be paying $50 million more dollars. And it felt like the SEC has been a different kind of a business partner with ESPN than with CBS, in which they just put some basketball games on CBS, put football games on CBS, but they started a network with the SEC, and ESPN. This is where the SEC has really kind of projected itself through, much more so, I think, than on CBS. Even though the best game on a week-by-week basis usually is that 2:30 slot on CBS, and you want to hear the music and you want to have that game broadcast over the air, but ESPN has been probably a more important business partner, and they don't have that relationship with the Big Ten. They started their network with Fox, and that's their number one broadcast partner would be Fox. So that's where there's this indication. I don't think it's a matter of two leagues that are taking over and you're just going to have two leagues. It's the two heavyweights that now one is in the corner of ESPN completely, and then one is in the corner of Fox. Not completely if you're going to be putting games on NBC and on Amazon Prime or on CBS as well, but they're coming away from ESPN. And these are also the organizations that end up having to negotiate on what the college football playoff is going to look like. Like, it can't be a surprise that Kevin Warren talks openly about wanting to bring in more broadcast partners for the college football playoff. And now when they negotiate their television contract, they don't include the one network that shows every one of those playoff games now, and are bringing in some networks that probably would like to be a part of this thing. CBS, NBC. This makes a lot of sense from their end. And so this also is a little bit of strategizing, I think, for the future of negotiations of the college football playoff.
Here's another aspect of this that I'm just now thinking of. You're talking about with NBC. NBC has always been the carrier of Notre Dame, and that primetime game is going to be on NBC. What does that do to Notre Dame game times? I mean, because we know that the times as games are scheduled by the networks. Is this a even bigger precursor that Notre Dame's going to be joining the Big Ten because the Big Ten is now striking a TV deal, especially a primetime TV deal with the Notre Dame network of NBC? I think that might be a precursor right there. Maybe I'm trying to look into things. I'm trying to connect dots that aren't there. But when you normally on a Saturday tune into NBC for a college football game, it's always Notre Dame. Now it's not going to be. Or is it?
It's maybe a little leverage too in the Big Ten's
favor. Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for here? Effort to eventually bring Notre Dame into the fold of their conference by bringing in the network that they have worked with longer than most.
Because that would mean no more primetime Notre Dame games. That means you're playing a lot of 11 o'clock, 2:30s.
Yep, that's right. All right, 877-377-6963. If you've got any thoughts on that, Bobby in Mount Nome says, you just want to listen to the radio announcers anyway. Hey, I'm with you on that. Totally with you on that. The thing is, though, today, Arkansas men's basketball opens up their basketball schedule in Europe, in Valencia, Spain. And that game is not on radio. It is only on Flow Sports, so have fun with that.
Where's Flow Sports and all this stuff? Are they getting in on the mix of college football?
Yeah, Flow Sports needs to be the broadcaster of the college football playoff. They've done so well with everything else. Hopefully things go a little bit better as far as the technical aspects are concerned. But tip-off is in about an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm sure we'll hear plenty about that as the show goes on. All right, lots to get to on halftime. We got sound coming from cornerback coach Dominique Bowman and a couple of players that sat with him yesterday after practice at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. We'll hit on that next on Halftime.
I will survive. I see you've got your list out.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
I think you can be awfully proud of the way your fans are with you. I've never seen stands so full of life. The whole state was behind you. There was a spirit there about it, Coach, and that means that your team has done something that's really great for this state.
Thank you, sir. We're very proud of our fans. They've had a big part in the success that we've had.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Traylon down the sideline. Touchdown, Arkansas.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We are live at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. It is the 17th annual Thick Burger Contest. We're giving away another football trip of a lifetime, this time in Arrowhead Stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Tennessee Titans. Traylon Burks making his way from Nashville, Tennessee, over to Kansas City. And you want to see it in person. Well, you say, Ty, how do I do this? Well, stop by and see me at this Hardee's location, 1820 Phoenix Avenue. Eat a Hardee's Original Angus Burger in 90 seconds or less, and you will be qualified for our 17th annual Thick Burger Contest on August the 20th. This is a contest that features some of the most ferocious eaters in the River Valley. Come on by and see us. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue till 1 o'clock today.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director-at-Large, Position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director-at-Large, Position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
The most demanding anglers want equipment that fits their lifestyle. Make G3 Boats by Yamaha your fishing partner today at Adventure Oklahoma and Auto Finders in Roland. Want to just relax and rejuvenate? Then a Suncatcher pontoon by G3 is just what you're looking for. Now is the time to get in on the 2022 year-end model clearance event at Adventure Oklahoma and Auto Finders through September 1st. G3 Boats and Suncatcher pontoons built to last. See them today at Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. See inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Metal Mart offers high-quality, prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be the company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials you need to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. With locations in Fort Smith, Mayflower, Jonesboro, and Little Rock. Or catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Of the Z. Back to the block, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Funky gets the doc. Went solo on that ass, but it's still the same. Long Beach is the spot where I serve my cane. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. But
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Right now it's Day Day, it's Hud, it's Malik, it's Nudie, Dwight, 4 guys in the mix. Keywan, Kyrie, all those guys been competing, but the ones and twos right now have been those 4 guys. I'm talking about Hudson Clark. He's a good player. I mean, he's athletic, he's long, and he's smart, cerebral. I mean, Hud's been doing a really good job in camp. He's been doing a good job.
It is cornerbacks coach Dominique Bowman who spoke with the media yesterday after a practice at the Smith Football Center. I love it when you got to learn the nicknames of the players, because so often they're never referred to by their first or last name. Mm-hmm. They just go by the nickname. You know Day Day is Ladarius Bishop. You know Hud is Hudson Clark. He said Malik, who, by the way, is moving from safety to cornerback, and that's Malik Chavis. Who was Nudie? There's a good nickname, and
I don't know.
And maybe it took a little bit of time to open up the Whole Hog Sports and read in Scotty Bordelon's article about yesterday's presser that Nudie is Dwight McGlothern, the cornerback transfer out of LSU. That's a new nickname for me as far as athletes are concerned. I've heard a lot of interesting nicknames before, some of them that are not arable. Nudie is bordering on thinking that could maybe not be arable, but I love this nickname.
I think it's okay.
I wonder if Chuck's going to refer to him as Nudie on the radio broadcast. We have to ask him that as we bring him on in the next segment. Anyway, so there, according to Dominique Bowman, there's your 2 deep on your cornerbacks. Ladarius Bishop and Hudson Clark. Between the two of them, you got 24 starts as cornerbacks at the University of Arkansas. McGlothern made 6 starts, got into 10 games last year at LSU, returned an interception for a touchdown against the Gators. Malik Chavis would be the one who hasn't started very much. He's been with Arkansas a couple of years, gotten into 18 games, and certainly has a lot to add here at this position. And he mentions Keywan Parker and Kyrie Johnson as well as guys that are fighting for opportunities to get in that 2 deep. There was another thing that was very interesting hearing him talk about the set of cornerbacks that he's working with, and this goes into the conversation about nickelback. Here's Dominique Bowman on nickelback and a specific player that he thinks is going to see a lot of time there this year.
Yeah, Miles Slusher, that position in itself is one of the toughest position in our scheme schematically. You got to blitz, right? You got to set edges like you got to play corner. So it's a linebacker, a corner, and a safety all in one. So obviously, if it's an odd space, you got to set edges. If it's 4 down, you got to be the one to make a tackle. You got to play some man-free coverages on it. You play quarters, you apex, the whole 9. So Miles Slusher is a smart player. So I feel like he's one of our best DBs. He can play corner, he can play safety, he can play outside backer, which is the nickel spot. So
that position obviously is the one that needs the most. Swiss Army knife kind of a thing as a cornerback. And also, you got to be fast. You got to be able to hit hard, maybe a little bit larger than most cornerbacks. And I think Slusher is this guy. We saw him blitz a little bit, if I remember correctly, in the Outback Bowl when the defense opened up a little bit more. So, he made 7 starts last year, filling in for the injured Jalen Catalon. There's a lot to like about Slusher. Ball hawker, hits well. Doesn't miss many tackles, very fast. And this is someone that may have that opportunity to take a really large step forward once you get into the season, because it feels like Slusher, who I think is really good at safety, they just want him on the field, much in the sense of Malik Hornsby. You want those talents, those physical attributes on the field. There's so much about Slusher. You got to find a way to get him on the field. Nickelback might be that spot with Catalon fully healthy.
Yeah, and it sounds like Miles Slusher is up for the challenge. I mean, from all reports from not just practice, but going all the way back to the spring, is that he's done a great job of adjusting to that position of being able to, like you said, a nickel is a true Swiss Army knife, because you have to play so many different type positions. There's so many different types of coverage that you have to be able to do very well. And it seems like he has. We know he has the athleticism. We know he has the speed. It's just, and you listen to Bowman in his press conference yesterday. he talked about it not just with Miles Slusher, but with a lot of these guys. It's not the physical attributes that they have that will keep them from making plays. He talks about the different schemes that they run. It's all from the neck up. And it sounds like Miles Slusher's got one of the best minds in that defensive side, because if he didn't, they wouldn't trust him to play this critical role in what is setting up to be a very critical role in Barry Odom's defense.
Well, I mean, you hear Sam Pittman say about Tykees Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good football player. We've got to find ways to get him on the field. Even though 4 out of your 5 spots in the offensive line theoretically are decided as far as the number 1 is concerned, they want to get Tykees Crawford on the field. Same with Malik Hornsby. He's too athletic, he's too fast, he's too dangerous with the ball in his hands to stand on the sideline waiting for an injury to happen to KJ Jefferson, or 1 or 2 plays per game that he gets a chance to line up behind center. Feel the same way about Miles Slusher. Incredibly talented and a difference maker for this Arkansas defense heading into year 3 under defensive coordinator Barry Odom. 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts on halftime today. We got a football trip of the lifetime contest entry going on right now. It's at the Phoenix Avenue location, Hardee's in Fort Smith. I was there on Friday for a very interesting edition of halftime. This will get you entered if you complete your thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and I mean every single bit of it, every drop of mayonnaise, every piece of lettuce, nothing can fall on the floor. 90 seconds or less, and you are entered into the August 20th finals. Winner then gets tickets to see the Chiefs and the Titans for the football trip of a lifetime on November 6th in Kansas City. It's brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, joining halftime after this quick break.
She's had a couple of kids since then. I haven't seen her since God knows when.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives, which includes protecting men's financial means to do so. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Little Rock area attorneys. A partner men can count on. 501-502-0000. That's 501-502, all zeros. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in Midtown Little Rock. Gianna Masori, licensed in Arkansas. Announcer is a paid presenter.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson back here at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. I've done this before, eaten a thick burger in 90 seconds or less. The Hardee's Original Angus Burger is delicious, and it's something you want to eat not just one, but multiple of. So you're going to have an opportunity to do so on August the 20th. 5 minutes. How many Hardee's Original Angus Burgers can you eat? But before you get to that point, you have to qualify and come see me until 1 o'clock today at 1820 Phoenix Avenue. While there, you'll have 90 seconds to eat this thick burger and set yourself up for what could be your football trip of a lifetime between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. Come on by and see me. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. The summer sell-down sales event is going on right now at Breen RV in Van Buren. New 2023 models are starting to arrive from Forest River, Keystone, Coachman, and StarCraft, all backed by Breen RV's free maintenance for life program. Cure your summertime blues in a 29-foot StarCraft that sleeps up to 10 people for just $229 a month with zero down. With savings up to $20,000 off MSRP on new travel trailers, now is the best time to get your new RV from Breen RV. That's Breen RV in Van Buren, where adventures begin.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Visit Metters Lumber True Value for great deals on the supplies you need most. Right now, select your choice of Four Seasons Courtyard Green Deluxe Sports Chair or blue oversized padded quad armchair for just $39.99. And keep your furnace working properly with your choice of Filtrete Ultra Allergen Furnace Filters. They're only $17.99. We can also help meet storage needs with your choice of Sterlite 18-gallon storage tote. Get these bargains of the month from Metters Lumber True Value while supplies last. Certain exclusion supplies, see store for details.
Calling all fans of flavor, there's something new at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Fridays Fajitas. Fajitas you love in bold new flavors like dynamite shrimp, tandoori chicken, and the spicier whiskey glaze blaze Tex-Mex. Right now, get free chips and queso with any Fajitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fajitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Great to have Chuck Barrett with us, voice of the Razorbacks, here Tuesdays on Halftime as he joins the crew at ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. Chuck, always appreciate talking with you on or off the air, but in this case, it's on Halftime. Thanks for joining us.
Phil, how are you?
Doing great.
Good.
What do you make of Arkansas 23rd in the coaches poll? Preseason polls, I don't know if they tell me very much. Now that the College Football Playoff Committee has its own poll, that's the one I think matters most. This is just a conversation setter, but I see Arkansas 23rd. They were 21st. In the final poll last year, which tells me the coaches are thinking Arkansas may be having an identical sort of season.
Well, I think, when you look at how they finished last year and, what they've got back, they could have been ranked a little bit higher. I mean, they've been ranked higher in some of the other polls, and I guess there's maybe one or two where they're not in the top 25. But I'll tell you why I think it's significant, where the preseason rankings come into play. And a lot of it has to do with playing Cincinnati right off the bat. I mean, they're going to be ranked. The loser's going to drop out. The loser's not going to be ranked, which means that I don't think beating South Carolina the week after is going to get you back in. It might, but you're probably going to have to, beat them, beat Missouri State, and then beat Texas A&M maybe to get back in, and then have the other team, get to 4-0. Otherwise, you're probably not going to get back in the poll. But if you win that game, you're probably, depending upon what happens over the weekend, and there's going to be some upsets first weekend, there always are, you got a chance to move to maybe 19th, maybe 20th, maybe 18th if you win that game. And, that sets you up to where by the end of the month, if you're winning, and that's a big if, but if you're winning, you're sniffing or in the top 10 because that would obviously include a win over A&M. So I think preseason rankings – when you're not ranked, you tend to say it doesn't matter. When you are ranked, you tend to believe it's, kind of an affirmation of your program, and that's what's going on right now. But I do think preseason rankings matter from the standpoint of, Arkansas has got a schedule in the first month of the season that if they win is going to give them a chance to really move up.
Yeah, and it seems that the going thoughts for Arkansas coming into this season, year 3 under Sam Pittman, is – throw away like the idea that offensively you're going to struggle without Traylon Burks. I don't think that's the case. I think you got a great group of running backs, a really good offensive line, and I think this group of wide receivers might actually be better as a whole than you had the year before, even with Traylon Burks. It's question marks defensively. But it feels like there's not as many question marks in the secondary. Dominique Bowman met with the media yesterday and the cornerbacks, and he pointed out, it's a veteran group. I mean, you got McLaughlin, Bishop, Clark, and Chavis. Clark, Bishop, and McLaughlin know what it's like to start in the SEC. All did last year. Clark and Day have been starters at times for the past 2 years. You feel good about the group of cornerbacks that Arkansas puts out there starting this year?
I think they've got a chance to be good. You know, in fact, I think the entire secondary has got a chance to be good. They're going to be really tested right off the bat. I'm not sure what Cincinnati's going to do in terms of throwing the ball because they've got a new quarterback, but I know South Carolina the second week is going to throw it all over the place with Spencer Rattler, so they're going to be tested right away. But I do think that's the thing when you look at this group, not just the corners, but everybody back there, but the corners, you know, the topic at hand. It is a veteran group. It's a group that, you know, understands what it's going to be like playing here, playing there. They know the tendencies of some of the guys they're going to go against. And I think it benefits you when you've got a group that's been around the block before.
If there's anybody that on the defense right now, that just from watching him last year, that could take like that really big step forward from one year to the next, and I thought he filled in really well as a starter for Jalen Catalon last year, is Miles Slusher. And moving him to nickelback, taking an opportunity to make sure he's on the field. You know, sometimes players take giant leaps from one year to the next. I think they're hoping for exactly that from Miles Slusher, and I think he's got the capability of doing that.
You know, Slusher was a guy last year in camp that did a lot of good things, and I suspect he will this year too. He's got to play. I mean, you got to find a spot for him out there, and I'm sure they'll cross-train, so to speak. You know, he'll play different spots. They got the middle safety and the boundary safety and the free safety. Most of the time they're going to be in a 3-2-6 is what it boils down to, and so he's going to be out there a lot. And obviously they have liked his athleticism from the get-go. He's a guy that catches your eye when you watch him practice. And I think they feel like he's developed into enough of a football player now where they can count on him.
Now, Chuck, when you are running, nickel packages and even, 6 defensive back schemes out there, that does leave you a little vulnerable, inside the tackle box. Are they that confident in the 3-man and, kind of running a 3-2 up front with the linebackers to keep that hole in the middle contained?
Well, not everybody in the secondary is you're always prepared to be a pass defender, but you're going to get a lot of run support in the middle from Catalon, and you'll get run support from others too. In our league right now, if you look around, most of the defenses are generally playing 5. They'll go to dime packages, but sometimes when you've got you got 3 down, and that leaves you 8 up, and 6 after your linebackers. A lot of those guys, if you look when the ball snapped, a lot of those guys, I'll say a lot of them, 1 or 2 of them's maybe creeping up into the box a little bit. So there's a plan for run support out of that formation. Obviously, got to execute it, but you always worry about stopping the run, and in the SEC, that's obviously something you're going to face every week. It'll probably be A&M before we face a team that I think you could describe as a rugged running team. But there are going to be times when you've got to adjust in terms of who you have out there and how you line up. But I think a lot of that goes, game to game and situation to situation within that game.
Yeah, I think you're right there. But the main thing with this defense, and Phil brought it up, I think, and we've been talking about it, going all the way back to the Penn State game last year up to this point, then we know how talented the secondary is and is going to be. But the one main problem, from A&M on last year was pressuring the quarterback, was getting guys into that backfield to make quarterbacks have to make quick decisions, to speed things up a bit. Because you look back at that Auburn game, Bo Nix had all the time that he possibly could in the world. Are you going to see more, corner blitzes? We're going to see more safety blitzes because that's obviously a big concern when it comes to this defense.
Well, I think you got to remember, though, in the Penn State game they gave up 10 points,
Mm-hmm.
and in the Texas A&M game they gave up 10 points, and they won by double digits in both of them. So Auburn was the one game last year on the schedule when I think you look back at last season and that's the one that's kind of disappointing because Auburn laid an egg after that. But, that's always the challenge is can you put pressure on the quarterback? It's always the challenge. And it starts with being able to stuff the run and getting them in situations where, they don't have the entire playbook at their disposal. Get them in long yardage situations. But, look, there are lots of good offenses in our league and lots of good offenses that are going to score points. And we've got one of them. But there are other teams out there that are going to put points on the board too. And it's not a perfect defense by any stretch of the imagination, but, they won 9 games with it a year ago. And, again, in that bowl game, the bottom line is how many points you give up. And they gave up 10. They won by 14. So if you can do that every week, we'll all be real happy.
Chuck, I learned a new nickname yesterday. A great
What's
nickname. Nudie. That's McLaughlin's nickname, and I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't know this until Dominique Bowman used it yesterday.
Nudie.
Nudie. Are you going to use that one on the air? Is that a nickname you'll break out on the broadcast?
I don't know. It just kind of depends on how commonplace it is.
I don't know.
I mean, some of them it's like that's what they go by and what everyone knows them by. Like Chris Paul is going to be known as Pooh Paul, I think, by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what he goes by every day with everybody, family too. So I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to see if it really sticks. Hey, I'll tell you this. If you're a good player, you're more apt to be called by your nickname than if you're a bad one. So if he has a good year, I'll bet if he wants to be called Nudie, that's what we call him.
Well, you know how I love statistics and everything. I'm just going to keep a nudie count for the season. And by the end of the year, the number of times you've used it will tell us just how effective he's been.
All right.
Well,
bet the under. Right okay. Now, bet the under.
I don't even know what I'm setting the line at, but I'll do that.
Yeah.
I will definitely do that. Yeah, you'll go with HUD maybe a little bit more than that. 877-377-6963. We'll have Chuck on for another segment here. Stay with us on halftime. We'll be right back.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson back at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. We're getting ready for the annual Thick Burger Contest coming up August the 20th. And with that contest comes the football trip of a lifetime. 5-time champion Darryl Bailey is looking to defend his crown once again. Now, Darryl's been beaten before, but it's not often. Could you be that guy or gal that dethrones him and takes away his glory? It's not going to be an easy task, but this task is not one for the weak. And I know you, as a Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach listener, you've got what it takes to not only eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, but also compete with the champion of champions, that is Darryl Bailey. Come on by and see us. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust, Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Arkansas Valley Electric members living in Knoxville and Augsburg and surrounding areas, you can now sign up. Wave Rural Connect Internet is available for you. Fast fiber internet, TV, and even phone service. Internet starting at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone for $29.95. Sign up now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter Agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
In growing companies, there are two kinds of CFOs. The one overwhelmed with manual processes, errors, and lack of control of the numbers, and the one who uses NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. With visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. The CFOs that get it, get it. The CFOs that don't. Head to netsuite.com/KJM for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. netsuite.com/KJM.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me. Met a boy cute as can be. Summer days drifting away to other summer nights.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Tears across the world as an icon passed away yesterday, and you can't use that word lightly. Bill Russell and Vin Scully last week, and yesterday Olivia Newton-John passes away at age 73. Chuck, I am addicted to listening to old radio broadcasts of Casey Kasem's American Top 40 from the 70s and 80s. Olivia Newton-John is all over these shows, and of course, the first time I ever saw her, Grease, as you hear this comeback.
Well, let's just stop talking about her music. Let's just stop talking about that. That's not what people are thinking about today. At least not what guys my age are thinking about. Grease came out in 1978. I was 15 years old. I guess I was in 9th grade. I remember seeing it at the Strand Theater. And if you're my age, and I'll hit the big 6-0 in January, there was some point in your youth where you had a major crush on Olivia Newton-John. And she was the it girl. And the leather with the cigarette at the end of Grease.
Oh,
I'm telling you, for a 15-year-old boy, that's about as good as it gets right there.
Tell me about it, stud.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean,
it doesn't sound as good
line.
when I say it. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, but my point is that she is an icon for a lot of different reasons. She was a boyhood crush. She, like, when she transformed from "I honestly love you" to "let's get physical," it was like, wow, the nice little church girl is really a bad girl. And I mean, it was she was an icon. She was an icon, and she kind of slipped out of the public view for the last several years. But for those of us old enough to remember her heyday, she was as star as it gets. I'll put it that way.
And she had a great sense of humor too. I mean, that the video to "Let's Get Physical" is hilarious with all of the what is it? It's all of the misshapen sort of older dudes, you know, guys that look like you and me, Chuck, are first coming into the gym, and by the time the video's over, they're buff and they're walking out with more muscles than you can count, and just a look on Olivia's face. It's a sad day, it really is.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. Is people go, and we all go. We'll all go someday, and you hope you hope you're remembered as fondly as she's remembered.
Yeah, I never got a chance to ask you about Vin Scully. We did almost a whole show on him last week. You started play-by-play baseball. I know you did, a lot of other sports at the same time, but with Razorback baseball and all the games you had under your belt there, and Vin Scully, I think he's the greatest broadcaster of all time. Did you get a chance to listen much to him?
Oh, I think like a lot of people, we picked him up on television. You didn't listen to the Dodgers at night here. You listened to the Cardinals. So I think for most of us in our part of the world, Jack Buck was the one that we listened to, and Vin Scully became part of our baseball experience when he joined NBC. I can remember vividly the first time I heard him do a game on the radio. I was out in Arizona. I was visiting a friend in Phoenix, and I was driving from Flagstaff down the mountain to Phoenix, and the Dodgers were on, and I picked up the broadcast. I was 25 years old, first time I'd heard Scully on the radio. But he came from the golden age of radio, and he came from an era when it was more important in our society to be a lady or a gentleman than it was to be bombastic and ultra wealthy and all the things that people tend to, tag success with now. He just came from that generation. He was a product of that. He wore a suit when he did a game. He respected the game. He respected broadcasting. He respected that booth. He respected the people in there. That's why he wore a suit. And he was just, he was what an icon's supposed to be. He taught you how to do it. Taught you how to carry yourself. If you did it like he did it, you'd be pretty good. It was always interesting. It was in his radio contract, and you know this, Phil, that he never had a color man because he knew that he could tell the story better than anybody else. He was a play-by-play man and a color man, all rolled into one. And, we won't see, we don't see icons like that anymore because the business doesn't lend itself to that anymore. But from that era, he was obviously larger than life, and even in death is one that is going to be remembered and celebrated.
Chuck, you mentioned Jack Buck, and he and Vin Scully were totally different broadcasters, even in just the way that they sounded. Vin had that mellifluous, like musical voice, and Buck was gruff, but not in a bad way. But these two broadcasters were always singularly identified with the team that they worked for almost for their entire careers. Worked with other legendary broadcasters, Vin with Red Barber, Jack Buck, of course, with Harry Carey, amongst others. And then they also transitioned to television, too. Buck with CBS, baseball, the World Series. Of course, he did NFL Monday Night Football on the radio. Vin did football on NBC and CBS. But they were completely different broadcasters in the style and the way they went about it. No less iconic, one or the other.
Guys, I've lost you. I'm sorry. Bill, I lost you right in the middle of your sentence. I'm going to assume that you can hear me. Buck was a product of the Midwest. And I think he really, his tone, his style, and embodied that. If you're a Cardinal listener a long time, you weren't raised on stories per se. Scully was a storyteller. Buck talked about the game. I thought, Buck utilized his color man, obviously more than Scully did because Scully didn't have one. So they did have much, much different styles. But, when Jack Buck got –
I think we totally lost Chuck there.
Yeah,
we've got some connection issues there that we'll hopefully figure out as the show goes along. But we only have Chuck for another 3 minutes or so. And I enjoy listening to him talk about the style of broadcasters. If Vin Scully, and he never lost sight of the game, but that's right, he was a storyteller, and Buck was about the game that's going on in front of him and the conversation with Mike Shannon that went back and forth. And I never heard Buck until CBS had the baseball package in the late 80s and the early 90s, and he did the World Series and the National League Championship in American. No, I don't think he did the ALCS. He did the NLCS. Well, those two, I think, would have definitely been intertwined as legends. And just think of Vin working with Red Barber and Buck working with Harry Carey. If I were to pick one broadcast to listen to, I would have liked to hear Harry Carey and Jack Buck working together like in the late 60s before Carey was let go.
I'd like to hear some of those spring training games they did where they were absolutely hammered sometimes during the broadcast, too.
Guys.
Oh, we got Chuck back here.
Yeah,
okay.
sorry about that.
That's all right. We'll figure this kind of stuff out. We got another minute here. And I wanted to ask, so CBS, we know that they're not playing the SEC anymore after the next couple of years. Big Ten on CBS, Big Ten on Fox, Big Ten on NBC. So we've got one network in the SEC that's going all cable. We got another league that's going all over the air. What is this telling you?
Well, it tells me, number one, this is going to be ESPN versus Fox. Now, they've got about 60-65%. CBS and NBC are getting in on it. NBC's involvement tells me Notre Dame's going to the Big Ten at some point. I think the CBS, and I hope that the SEC doesn't regret losing CBS in the afternoon. I always thought that was the 2:30 game on CBS was the most well-produced college telecast of the weekend, and I'm sure it will continue to be. ESPN's not as good on production values as CBS is, but ESPN's smart enough to know that all anybody wants to do is see the game. So the battle's on. The battle's on, I'll tell you that. Fans are going to be the big winner.
And that battle isn't ever going to end either, that's for sure.
No, a lot of good games to watch, that's for sure.
That's right. Chuck, appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging in through the technical problems. Always appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Chuck Barrett, the one and only voice of the Razorbacks, joining halftime on Tuesdays. Into the second hour after a very quick break, 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on halftime, and we'll be right back.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We are live at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. It is the 17th annual Thick Burger Contest. We're giving away another football trip of a lifetime, this time in Arrowhead Stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Tennessee Titans. Traylon Burks making his way from Nashville, Tennessee, over to Kansas City. And you want to see it in person. Well, you say, Ty, how do I do this? Well, stop by and see me at this Hardee's location, 1820 Phoenix Avenue. Eat a Hardee's Original Angus Burger in 90 seconds or less, and you will be qualified for our 17th annual Thick Burger Contest on August the 20th. This is a contest that features some of the most ferocious eaters in the River Valley. Come on by and see us. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue till 1 o'clock today.
Razorback football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. We could see some periods of heavier rain, our high into the upper 80s. Tonight, a chance of some showers and storms early, and overnight low upper 60s to low 70s. Wednesday, we will see a sunny start with showers, a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, our high into the upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Into the second hour of halftime here on a glorious Tuesday across the Natural State. It was great to be with you. You got tip-off in 30 minutes in Valencia, Arkansas. And let me get a double check on the name of the team that they're playing today. I love some of these Italian and Spanish team names. Playing against Valencia Selección. Now, I don't know.
Pretty good.
I don't know my Spanish very well, but that tells me that's the selection of Valencia. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Your guess is as good as mine.
And it is being played at La Alquería del Basket. There you go.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Arena.
It means of basket.
Of basketball.
Of basket, yes.
Arena of basketball. Okay.
12:30 tip-off.
Okay.
On your local Flow Sports affiliate. Get the complaints going. Hey, by the way, you're not going to be able to complain about the announcers not knowing the players. Although I wonder if how much research Matt Zimmerman and Brett Dolan have done into Valencia Selección and their roster.
How much can they be? I mean, it's a quick Google search. I haven't even tried. Does that give you a roster? Is that something you've got to have information director for? Valencia, what is it? Valencia what?
Selección.
Selección give you? I'm not going to think that they're going to have too much background on some of these guys.
Well, they've got plenty of background on the Razorback players, and I think most of the people watching are watching for that reason and that reason only. So hopefully your $30 are spent very, very well for some midday basketball. And, hey, no, we don't need to be giving score updates as this thing goes along. Not at all. 877-377-6963. Got some text coming in here. Ryan in Prairie Grove says he's 34 years old and Olivia Newton-John still hit him in the fields. Nate pretty much says the same thing. He's 30. She's still a Fox. Nate, how did you make this? Whoa, Nate has found a loophole in the Flow Sports agreement. He says he's paying just $12.
No. That is not a loophole.
What?
That is not a loophole, Nate. They have talked about it multiple times on the Morning Rush. There is two options. $12.50. It's not refundable. That will be a full year pay.
Oh, you got to pay up
You
front for the
will-
whole year.
You will pay. No, I think you pay the $12.50, but to cancel it, I think or it's either to cancel it or the subscription is like non-refundable for a year.
So it's $12.50 a month.
It's a month, and you're locked in for a year.
Yeah, Nate, it
The
sounds
only way
like
you can
that.
cancel is to go with the $29.99.
It sounds like that loophole is getting screwed over.
Yeah, I don't think that's a loophole.
That's very interesting in the way things
It's the way
can be
they try to
marketed
drag you
sometimes.
in to make you think you're getting a loophole in a deal, thinking you can cancel it at any time. Oh, not so fast.
Something tells me Nate already has his annual subscription without even realizing
Yeah, the
it.
good news is
Sorry,
you'll have
Nate.
Flow Sports all year long.
I've heard it's a really good dirt racing channel.
Well, I
we
think
had somebody
they've
text
got-
in this morning saying they got great great dirt racing coverage.
What did I see on the Flow Sports channel? They are showing some. They've got other college leagues that they'll be showing. I think they've got some AAC, if I remember correctly. I got to pull this thing up so I'm accurate about this, but I think they're showing some AAC. So, and hey, if you did, Nate, if you did purchase your reverse loophole $12.50 a month membership, you're going to be able to watch Arkansas baseball at the Ranger Stadium next year.
Do they show
with announcers that aren't really quite sure of the players that they're watching?
Do they show band competitions on Flow Sports?
I'm guessing.
It looked like, I thought I saw in the little clip here that they showed like some people banging drums.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Wrestling, grappling, racing, marching, track, cycling, mile split, varsity TV, that's cheerleading, softball, baseball, basketball.
Oh, rodeo.
Rodeo, hockey, rugby.
Voice.
I'm guessing that's the acapella.
Well, nothing says sports
they're
like
showing
singing
voice
acapella.
competitions. They're showing singing competitions on Flow Sports.
They have highlights from Next
dancing.
Gen Varsity Contest.
You know, this is the way that ESPN was understood way back in the early 1980s. Tractor pulls, roller derby, wrestling. I don't know if they ever did ballroom dancing, but that would have fit at the time.
Well, dances on Flow Sports, I know that.
I saw a tweet early today with all this Big 10, not going to be on ESPN anymore stuff, that the first college football game on ESPN was a Big 10 game, and if I remember, I don't have the tweet pulled up, but if I remember right, it followed a rodeo. Like that's what it led in. Now we all think about, like you said,
I feel like I remember
ESPN from just being, the major sports, but it was basically the wide world of sports, like they had on the ABC and stuff. That's what it was, right?
I feel like I remember that.
Flow Sports is showing the three logos I see here on this page is the Colonial Athletic Association, a basketball tournament in the Cayman Islands, and the Big East Conference. I mean, this is the sort of thing that conferences are going to be left to do once there's no more channels left on over-the-air or cable networks to put your games on, is you just end up streaming it. Flow Sports ends up at the right place at the right time to take advantage of this.
Well, one thing for any Arkansas listeners that do end up getting looped into that thing and they're going to figure out what else do they want to watch, Flow Sports covers the GSC conference. That's Harding University.
The Gulf South?
Yeah.
It's not no. That's the Great American Conference.
I saw
switched.
GSC. Oh, they changed conferences?
Yeah, they changed. That was about 11 or 12 years ago.
Oh, well, that's the last time I remember.
I did Henderson State football for 7 years, and that was when they switched over to the Great American Conference.
Is Delta State still in the GSC?
Who is it?
Delta State.
I believe. I don't know.
Statesman / Fighting Okra?
I kind of gave up on paying very close attention to the Division II football conferences once we started this radio show. Pro Motocross is on Flow Sports. I mean, heck, that used to be on ESPN back before they had a second channel and back before they had rights to the NFL and Major League Baseball and the NBA. I mean, really, the first thing that made ESPN legitimate was college sports. Otherwise, you had SportsCenter and a whole lot of other things that you wouldn't necessarily classify as anything that would be major. And college sports was like the first legitimate nationwide sports play-by-play that they ever showed. Because I watched roller derby on ESPN back when the LA Express was doing their thing. I wasn't interested in the tractor pull, so I would usually switch over to Nickelodeon when that was happening. And now ESPN is the leading competitor against the Fox Corporation for college sports, and they're basically ESPN is basically the SEC in many ways. That's what Chuck was hitting on. Look, ESPN will have other conferences that they partner with. I mean, you've got 20 different channels to choose from here. Some of them that ESPN is a partner with the conferences on, like the ACC network, like the SEC network. But they're going to go after the Pac-12. They want the Pac-12 because that's programming for late night when football fans want to watch football. Isn't that what a lot of Arkansas fans do? You might not really have a rooting interest in what's going on, but Pac-12 after dark when you've watched two other games, including Arkansas on that Saturday, Like that's what they put these. That's why ESPN owns all the bowls for content. That's why they want to go after the Pac-12, not because they view it as a really interesting league. It's for content. I mean, it's the same with the Big 12. It's content.
Who among us hasn't watched an Arizona-Washington State game at 11 o'clock at the bar? Who among us hasn't stayed out at the bar long enough to watch a Hawaii game? I mean,
I got to know how it
something
is.
on.
Greg in Mulberry is watching Flow Sports right now. They've got the Roman Basketball Invitational. Now now I know Arkansas I know the Hogs are playing a game in Italy. I think one game in Italy. It's not part of this Roman Basketball Invitation, is it? But at least they're showing some real sports here. Calvert's going to Arkadelphia in September. Yeah, go watch. Hey, I love Henderson. I love the Great American Conference. It's just there's only so much time in the day to pay attention to the things we're talking about here. Calvert, go watch the Battle of the Ravine when Washington and Henderson match up in the last game of the regular season. If you haven't seen that before, well, you haven't necessarily lived. You know what I do like?
Pete's exactly right, real quick. Pac-12 After Dark helps you when you're down 50 units on a betting all day. That's right. That's right, Pete. Day's not over until all of it's done. You gotta climb your way back out. I'm with you.
Well, the gamblers have to have a place to watch the game that they've put money on, right? When you got the action. They'd pay $30 for Flow Sports if you can get action on Arkansas versus Valencia Selección. Sweet unis that they're wearing, too, Arkansas. I don't know what Selección is playing. Does that mean you call them La Selección instead of Valencia if you want to refer to the team name? That's one reason why I need to maybe spend the money or get somebody's login for Flow Sports. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So that I know whether or not you call this team Selección or Valencia. It's like I worked for a team called the Mudville Nine in California before I moved to Arkansas. They were a Brewers affiliate, and now they're called the Stockton Ports, which is the historic name of that city's team. I never knew what to call. Like, you can't refer to the team as the Nine, can you? That felt a little bit awkward.
You call them the Niners?
No, I just called them Mudville over and over and never referred to them as anything but Mudville. The Nine would have felt just a little bit odd, especially when there were 10, because we had a designated hitter for every game. So it was a lie. And I'm not big
but you
on
only had
lies.
9 batters.
Ryan in Prairie Grove misses 4 a.m. Korean baseball that he's texted in. LG Dino. I think it's NC Dinos, Ryan. That's the one. LG is a different one. I think it's NC Dinos. Did you watch any of that Korean baseball when the shutdown happened in 2020? And the only thing that was left, the first thing that started, if I remember, was, like you say, in 4 a.m. Korean baseball. We had Kyle Peterson on to talk about that.
Phil, I'll do you one better. I betted on Korean baseball.
You put money on Korean baseball.
I did it one time.
That's not one better. That's 10 worse. Well,
depending on how you look at it, man. I needed my action. I needed the itch.
Everybody needed the action.
I mean, scratch the itch. Korean baseball, it was on.
What the heck were you putting money on before that for like 2 months? Just like which child crossed the street quicker than the other one? Which automobile would get to the stoplight faster than the other?
No,
cornhole.
I won a lot of money on my boy Jay Rubin in the ACL. Because cornhole was one of the first sports to kind of come back, and that was actually televised on ESPN. Oh, my boy Jay Rubin, which I saw him on the TV on Sunday and got really psyched. So I watched him play some cornhole again. But yeah, he won me some money.
Well, congratulations.
Shout out Jay Rubin. Best cornhole player in the game.
Need to get an autograph from him with specifically his cornhole hand. All right.
I do. Yes.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to say those words back to back together again. Hey, on Friday, Drew and I are going to be at the Babe Ruth League's Cal Ripken Major 70 World Series Championship Day. That's the day the USA and International Championships are decided in Branson. That's the home of the Babe Ruth League's Cal Ripken Majors 70 World Series, featuring teams from Mexico, Japan, Canada, Korea, and the United States. They're 3 days into pool play. This is some of the best youth baseball you'll find anywhere in the country. Come out and see me and Drew at Branson for the Cal Ripken Major 70 World Series USA and International Championship Day. That's this Friday, August the 12th. And you can go to BabeRuthWorldSeries.org for more information. Getting into some Major League action, the Cardinals are hot, and they are in Colorado today. Back after this on Halftime.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places. ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson back here at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. I've done this before, eaten a thick burger in 90 seconds or less. The Hardee's Original Angus Burger is delicious, and it's something you want to eat not just one, but multiple of. So you're going to have an opportunity to do so on August the 20th. 5 minutes. How many Hardee's Original Angus Burgers can you eat? But before you get to that point, you have to qualify and come see me until 1 o'clock today at 1820 Phoenix Avenue. While there, you'll have 90 seconds to eat this thick burger and set yourself up for what could be your football trip of a lifetime between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. Come on by and see me. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust, Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Arkansas Valley Electric members living in Knoxville and Augsburg and surrounding areas, you can now sign up. Wave Rural Connect Internet is available for you. Fast fiber internet, TV, and even phone service. Internet starting at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone for $29.95. Sign up now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
With everyday low prices on top brands as well as our popular Ace Rewards card, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these great deals at any of our 4 locations. Ace pleated air filters, buy 2, get 1 free. Ace insect killers, including wasp and hornet killer, 2 for $5. 5,000 to 25,000 BTU air conditioners at everyday low prices. Sign up for the Ace Rewards card for even more savings at any of our stores or online at YeagersHardware.com. Yeager's, offering real service with real savings.
United Hail Pros will fix your hail-damaged car, offering industry-leading paintless dent repair with 0 out-of-pocket, a free rental car from Enterprise, and a lifetime warranty. Locally owned and operated. Schedule today at UnitedHailPros.com. Call United Hail Pros today at 479-309-3998. We're on our way.
Trust United Hail Pros. The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, my sister's kid is tattooed from his head down to his toes. He claims trouble follows him everywhere he goes. He's such a lazy, loafing, good-for-nothing, drunken slob. But still he thinks I ought to give his sorry ass a job. Yeah, people and their problems are...
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Hey, remember how much fun the Field of Dreams game was last year? Yankees-White Sox was a great game in an outstanding atmosphere, unique. I think the minor league version of the Field of Dreams game is going to be more interesting than the major league one. Cubs-Reds in a couple of days.
Have you seen the unis for those two?
Big old
too?
yawn. Yeah, I like the Cubs one. It's like the old. It looks like they're playing like in 1911 with a very dark blue, and it's it looks like a bear. It almost looks like Winnie the Pooh, like an outline of Winnie the Pooh on the Cubs hat.
Holding a baseball bat. It does kind of. I definitely don't like the Reds. The Reds, they just look ugh.
Well, they're
nasty.
both. Well, the Reds and the Cubs are pretty nasty anyway.
That
Although,
is true.
Hey, the Pirates fell into last place yesterday. Go Bucks!
Attaboy.
Go Bucks! Need that reverse fandom going here to get the worst record in the National League. But yeah, you got a minor league version of the Field of Dreams today. The Cedar Rapids Colonels becoming the Cedar Rapids Bunnies, which is an historic name for minor league baseball in that city. And the Quad Cities River Bandits becoming the Davenport Blue Sox. So you don't have any major league teams in Iowa, but a couple of Iowan minor league teams that are playing in Dyersville later today. And then again, you got the major league Field of Dreams game. The only reason to watch that is just to see if Kevin Costner emerges through the corn once again on Thursday. The Cardinals, though, are worth watching now, and they start a series against the Rockies on the road today with Miles Mikolas on the mound. Did you see the Yankees finally got on the win column after the trade deadline?
I did.
And the Cardinals haven't lost.
0-6?
The Cardinals haven't lost. The Dodgers haven't lost. Both are 6-0 going into tonight's games. And anyway, the Cardinals swept the freaking Yankees, which might have been the best team left on their schedule. They'd still have 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Padres way later near the end of the regular season, but then that equals out with 6 against the Pirates to close out the regular year. I saw an interesting article by John Denton on MLB today about the Cardinals featuring potentially 2 MVP candidates, which usually if you have 2 MVP candidates on your team, then you don't have the league's MVP because they'll split the vote. I always point to 1988 National League. Kevin McReynolds and Darryl Strawberry virtually split the vote for the Mets, and that opened up Kirk Gibson to win the league's most valuable player award. But, I mean, you're talking about Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. And while Arenado has the 2 NL Player of the Week awards this year, including the current one, Goldschmidt right now this isn't a triple crown, but if you're talking in like the analytics people pay attention to today, it is kind of a triple crown. He leads the National League in batting average .332, on-base percentage .415, and slugging percentage .614. That's a triple crown of sorts, though nobody's ever going to call it that because we go with batting average, home runs, and RBIs. But when I look at Goldschmidt as the only player in the National League with an OPS over 1,000, and his OPS is 87 points better than second, I think Goldschmidt right now is your front runner for National League MVP. And then I might look at Pete Alonso because those Mets, I mean, the Mets are incredibly dangerous on the pitcher's mound, but right now the Polar Bear leads I think the major leagues in runs batted in. I'd put him second after Goldschmidt. I don't know where I'd put Arenado, but if he continues to have weeks like he just had, he'll get in this conversation too. Right now, for me though, it's Paul Goldschmidt. You can't lead that league in all of the slash categories in today's day and age, where broadcasters will mention OPS before batting average. So I think right now Goldschmidt is the MVP in the National League.
I mean, just going to the main statistic that everybody knows, everybody looks at and knows exactly what it is. I mean, when you're batting .332, you're batting over 300 like that, you have to be in the conversation. Plus, like you said, 4th in home runs, 2nd in RBIs. Those are just too good of numbers. They really are. And how much does it affect voting when you have a guy that has similar numbers but is on a better team? So ultimately, if Goldschmidt's going to make a real chase at this National League MVP, the Cardinals have to keep winning, and that's what they've done. That was the plan out of the trade deadline was if we get in and we get hot, who knows? And right now they're hot. So if Goldie could keep it up, I definitely agree with you. I think he is a front runner.
When you see St. Louis sweep the Yankees, that tells you that right now, I mean, it's still August, so who knows what happens in a couple of months.
A lot of baseball left.
Wainwright might get tired and might fall off a little bit. Goldschmidt and Arenado right now are carrying this team. Paul DeJong has started to hit a little bit. Maybe DeJong goes back to what was going on before he got sent down to AAA. But this is a dangerous Cardinals team. They've bolstered the bullpen. They've bolstered the starting rotation, and didn't add to the lineup necessarily. But like when you have two of the most dynamic hitters in the game, it's been enough to get them into first place and into the pennant race even before the trading deadline. You sweep the Yankees, you've got what it takes to go deep into October, and I think the Cardinals might have what it takes to go deep into October.
You definitely do, and also not saying that it's Juan Soto's fault, because Juan Soto's hitting over 300 in San Diego in his short time there, but he hasn't hit a home run, hasn't hit a single RBI, and the Padres haven't looked that great since he's came over. They just got swept by the Dodgers,
and they said it's no big deal.
Yeah. Okay, bud.
The one team you're chasing. Like, it's the team you're chasing in that division. It's the measuring stick. You've already made your deals. You have fortified your team as best as anybody could possibly have imagined, and they still got swept by Los Angeles.
And they lost last night to San Francisco by 1-0. I mean, Benny Snell did look really good on the mound, but only giving up one run in the fourth, but still lost. And that's 4 straight.
And the wins and the losses are what's supposed to matter a little bit. 877-377-6963. I want to remind you about Twin Peaks in Rogers. They got brew days going on every Wednesday this August. So that includes tomorrow at Twin Peaks Rogers. They're celebrating one of their most beloved things, beer. Score 22-ounce Twin Peaks brews on draft for just $3.75 all day long. That is tomorrow at Twin Peaks. And, of course, those draft beers are going to be 29 degrees. Because that's why they keep that beer ice cold all the time. Twin Peaks and Rogers is your sports headquarters. Kitchen bursting with made-from-scratch fan favorites. The game is blasting from every angle. You can also go to TwinPeaksRestaurant.com to order to-go or delivery. You've got more TVs, bigger screens, and scenic views, and much more to watch at Twin Peaks. After the break, as we are halfway through halftime on a Tuesday 3-hour show, Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation joins us next.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. And folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days. And at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So instead, we're going to hire a professional voice actor and pay him absurd amounts of money to say,
I like this product.
Not sure why that was better. I mean, I'm a professional too, but we didn't pay him to say the business part, so back to me. Save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. Sorry, I know hearing me say it was a bit of a letdown. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson back at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. We're getting ready for the annual Thick Burger Contest coming up August the 20th. And with that contest comes the football trip of a lifetime. 5-time champion Darryl Bailey is looking to defend his crown once again. Now, Darryl's been beaten before, but it's not often. Could you be that guy or gal that dethrones him and takes away his glory? It's not going to be an easy task, but this task is not one for the weak. And I know you, as a Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach listener, you've got what it takes to not only eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, but also compete with the champion of champions, that is Darryl Bailey. Come on by and see us. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Love and happiness. But wait a minute, something's going wrong.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And Alyssa Orange meeting us at the halfway point here on halftime on this Tuesday on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Alyssa, appreciate you joining us here in the middle of our show. How are you today?
Doing well. Enjoying the rain and the thunder that we got going on here at my house.
About time. You got all your plants
right?
outside? You got it ready to go?
Well, yeah. Well, my sister and brother-in-law are in from Seattle, so I thank them for the weather.
They brought it with them, didn't they? Yes.
They did.
They haven't seen the sun in Seattle in 10 years, and now we finally get some.
Well, they saw it yesterday. We gave them some Arkansas heat, and they gave us some rain, so it was a trade-off.
Interesting. I want to play you this soundbite from yesterday's press conference with the Arkansas players. And this isn't about it was the cornerbacks that met. It was Hudson Clark and Malik Chavis that met yesterday with the media. But a lot of the questions that are going to defensive players right now are about wide receivers and specifically about Matt Landers. I want to play this for you and then get some reaction.
Speed. He's very long, very good guy. He can run and he can catch. So the deep ball, like 50-50 ball, yeah, I like Matt.
Matt's a good guy. He can create a lot of separation. He's got pretty big strides, and so he's definitely a new type of receiver we've seen this fall camp. So he's been good for us.
Some people are a little nervous, Alyssa, that Arkansas won't be able to stretch the field without Traylon Burks. But when I read about Jaden Hazelwood, when I remember what I watched from Keytron Jackson last year and that speed, and from what the guys are saying about Matt Landers, I think you might have more deep threats now than you had last year.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that we've kind of touched on this before. Traylon Burks is a talent, and I know that Kendall Browse has called him a once-in-a-generation kind of talent, but then you automatically panic like we don't have that anymore, and they still have talent in that wide receiver group, and you just named those guys that I think pop at the top of people's heads that are going to be good, and you want to hear. There's going to be a wide receiver class, and that's a little scary. If you're used to a guy like Traylon Burks and watching him play, but I feel like right now the problem might be is there is almost too much talent with this wide receiver group, and how do you spread it out, and how do you utilize it to the best of its ability? Because unlike last year, it was Traylon Burks, sometimes Davion Warren, Tyson Morris here and there, but now you've got so many weapons. It's never a bad thing when you have too many wide receivers, in my opinion. So I love hearing that, and I love hearing about the speed, because Arkansas needs some of that too.
And it's a feeling like, so there's maybe a better group of wide receivers overall than last year, and some of the younger players can take a big step forward. Trey Knox, pass-catching tight end. Malik Hornsby is going to get plenty of balls coming his way at some time. This is a team, though, Alyssa, that's built on the run and run first. And sometimes 2/3 of their offensive plays are running plays. Do you expect that of course, it's going to all have to do with how the defense lines up against them. But it feels like they're built a little bit right now to throw more often than last year, even with this great set of running backs.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely more balanced than it was last year, where you depend. I just muted myself. Sorry. And so, I think it's a lot more balanced. I'm interested. As they sit there and they say Rocket Sanders right now is the running back running with the first team, and you don't really know what's going on with Dominique Johnson, and so I definitely think with some question marks in that backfield, how does A.J. Green look in at practice, guys that you have back there, that you're going to have to maybe rely on that pass game, especially maybe in this first game against Cincinnati, but you still kind of iron out some question marks there in the backfield.
Mm-hmm. On the other side of the ball, Alyssa, defensive backs coach Bowman talked yesterday to the media, along with a few DBs, and him talking about the importance of the nickel player, which is going to be Miles Slusher, and how much he's going to have to contribute in that role. Is Miles Slusher going to be a more important player to this defense than Jalen Catalon? Oh.
You asked the sort of question that she hung up on.
So bad.
She hated that question.
Is that bad of a question? I thought it was, I didn't knock it out of the park. It wasn't the greatest question of all time, Alyssa, but I don't think you needed to be rude.
Yeah, usually it's a walk-off answer, not a walk-off question, but there you go.
And I know I'm not the best interviewer in the world, but you didn't have to just hang up on me, Alyssa.
How much of that did you hear, Alyssa?
I don't think that was me, but might be the weather. Let's blame the rain, okay?
Okay. Did you hear the question at all?
To answer your question, I think you're asking me about Miles Slusher and just his value to the defense, yeah?
Yes.
Great. Yeah, so, even Jalen Catalon has mentioned that, there are guys in this secondary who have come a long way from when they got there, and then there are guys like Miles Slusher where right away you just knew that this kid had it. And we heard about that when he was recruited and came in last year. But he's talented. He has good instincts. He's someone that's very similar to Jalen Catalon, where they just have a knack for where the football is going to be. They can read offenses really well. So he has a huge future ahead of him. But if you have two guys like Jalen Catalon and Miles Slusher on the field, it's beneficial for both. So is he going to be a big part? Absolutely, because I think he takes some focus away from Jalen Catalon. We know that guys, we're not going to target Jalen Catalon because it's hard to throw on his side of the field and not get it intercepted. Well, now you got a Miles Slusher who is also on the other side, and so it's just going to bring so much more value. And I think we're going to see Jalen Catalon, if it's even possible, playing better than he did last year before he was injured, and we're going to see the kind of talent and the speed that Miles Slusher has as well.
If you can have both type of performance out of those guys, it's definitely going to create some trouble for some offenses in the SEC. That's for sure. On to the basketball. As the team is playing in Europe, do you have Flow Sports? Have you got somebody's account? How are you and everybody at Pitcher Nation going to keep up with it?
We signed up for Flow Sports. We do it during baseball when they played down at Round Rock this year, and I did the 7-day week trial, I believe. But we signed up for it at work, kindly get reimbursed for that, so I appreciate KNWA helping us out there. But we're watching it at work. I can't watch it from home, so I've got to be at work to watch this basketball team. But I'm looking forward to going in there when I finally get back in the office and watching some recordings. Man, I haven't been in the office in a week and a half, guys, because I was in Whitehall last week, and then I took today and yesterday off to spend time with my family. So I still do work there, if anyone's wondering, but I just haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, have fun with the whole family thing this month, Alyssa, because you know that's coming to an end once football season starts. Yeah, especially you and Saw together.
What? So we're headed. I'm now going Saturday. We're going up to Kansas City. My dad and my stepmom are flying in because the Dodgers are in town. So
the hot Dodgers, huh? 6
yeah,
wins
the Dodgers,
in a row.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and I'm going to get someone in our group to eat that barbecue Reese's peanut butter sandwich that they just debuted.
Tell me this again. What's this?
Have you not seen this thing?
No, I've not seen this sandwich.
The Royals have unveiled this barbecue sandwich with Reese's peanut butter cups mixed in it.
Now, I love Reese's peanut butter cups, but I eat them a very particular way, and on a sandwich is not one of them. I can't do it because then I can't eat all the chocolate off of the peanut butter and then eat the peanut butter just by itself. I can't do that.
Do you
sandwich,
dissect every candy there, Phil? Is there anything that you will literally just bite into and eat normal?
If a candy is deconstructible, I will deconstruct it. That's just how it is. Maybe I can deconstruct the sandwich and go from there. Hey, by the way, must release the starting 5. I don't know what the score is of Arkansas versus Valencia Selección, but I do know that 3 freshmen are in the starting 5, and one of them is Anthony Black, one of them is Joseph Pinion, Barry Dunning Jr. getting a start, Ricky Council, and Trayvon Brazile are the starters. We knew Nick Smith probably isn't playing this entire trip because of the finger injury, but I think you think we're going to see. I think out of those 5, Black, Council, and Brazile end up as guys that are probably starting 5 once you get into SEC play.
I think so. I think you add Nick Smith Jr. there as well, and then see where Jordan Walsh is come SEC play as well. And then obviously, you have Devo Davis, who is your veteran on this team. Where does he equate? So it's just so many questions. But I think Musk kind of made a statement with that starting 5. Even though he says it doesn't mean, it might not mean anything, it definitely does.
If I'm going just by pure athleticism and what we've seen on some of the highlights of practice that Muss has tweeted out, what was the biggest dunk of last year? I mean, I think of some of the dunks that Daniel Gafford threw down a few years ago. Think of Mike Qualls throwing it down against Kentucky to finish the game. Devo Davis at the end of the Auburn game last year. Council is going to have he's going to have a mixtape of all of his dunks, just going by what we hear from the players and seeing on Muss's social media. Ricky Council sounds like a highlight waiting to happen.
Yeah, you can't call him Mr. Walk on Air because that is Michael Qualls, but I am sure that we're going to have a dunk count for Ricky Council like we had a charge count for Jalen Williams, Yeah,
it's going to be tough finding ways to get everybody the ball in this situation. It's like the same as this wide receiver room, and not to put it on the same level necessarily, but you got to find a way. It's not necessarily like to keep the players happier, but it's a matter of you have an incredible amount of talent in that. I think in that wide receiver room, probably more so for basketball. For now, they're going to play more than 7-8 on this trip, probably. But as the season goes on, I guess I'd be surprised if Eric Musselman sticks to that 7-player rotation that we've seen over the past 2 years.
Yeah, Mike Irwin and I talked about this, and Mike very much is like, there's no way that he's going to stick to what he's done the past couple of years. And he's got too much talent on this bench. But it's also the way that he's always coached. So I'm very intrigued as to what he does. Because do you just not play the talent that you have because you do only play 7-8 guys, or do you adjust your own system to you're playing 12, 11 guys a night, and guys aren't getting the huge minutes like they have in the past, but you're winning ball games and you're distributing the football or the basketball and the minutes with it. And so I'm just really curious because, again, he's either going to continue to do it the way and the style that he's played in historically that we've seen Eric Musselman, even going back, to Nevada, and the way that he coaches, or he is going to adjust to this team because he has brought in so much talent. I think we all hope it's the latter, but I'm just really curious to see exactly how he adapts to the roster that he has this year.
Hey, last thing before we let you go. Olivia Newton-John passed away yesterday. Grease, how many times did you watch it, and did you practice singing to any of these songs?
Oh, of course. I don't know, practice singing because I'm terrible, but have the Grease soundtrack. Loved Olivia Newton-John. That was sad news yesterday when I heard that at the age of 73. So that she'll be missed for sure. But Grease is a staple, and it was growing up, and definitely going to have to maybe show Finn here the next few days.
No doubt about it. No doubt.
No doubt.
Alyssa, appreciate you. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for your time.
Guys, thanks. See you next week.
Appreciate it, Alyssa.
You know, it's interesting. Grease is a cultural touchstone movie. You know, it gives you a feeling about what life was like in the 50s, and it's one of the movies that really helped define the late 1970s. You know what movie doesn't have that cachet?
What movie is that?
Grease 2.
I've never seen it. So it's another one of those terrible sequels that people tell me to avoid.
Who played the Olivia Newton-John part, and it was a different character, of course, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Really?
Michelle Pfeiffer was the innocent character, the innocent, lovely young lady.
Was Grease 2 set in the 50s as well? Was this like the next class that came through, or what?
I've only watched the movie once, so I can't tell you. I don't remember. It was that unentertaining. My kids apparently seem to love it. More halftime after a quick break.
Picture another world, another dimension, where left is right, up is down, and chicken sandwiches only cost $1. This place exists, and it's called the Hardee's app. So when you buy one hand-breaded chicken sandwich, you get another for just $1. Cluck bait! It's time to fall for some cluck bait. Bite into the hand-breaded chicken menu only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants exclusively in the Hardee's app or website by registered My Rewards members. Tax not included. See app or website for additional terms and conditions.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start. Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Randy Milam in Alma or Brad Howe in Van Buren about Shelter's home insurance.
Metal Direct offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Direct assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by their location at 7420 Inmar Drive in Little Rock, one block off University behind Napa Auto Parts, or call them at 501-562-3112. Metal Direct, the right material for the right price.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah?
Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Why'd you come in here looking like that in your cowboy boots and your painted on jeans? All decked out like a cowgirl's dream. Why'd you come in here looking like that? Here comes my baby, dragging my heart behind. He's driving me crazy.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Hey, a little breaking news. Nick Smith is playing for Arkansas in Europe. He is playing. What? He had a three-pointer, according to a couple of the Twitter accounts I follow that I checked out during the break. So Nick Smith Jr. didn't start, but he is playing, and that jammed finger not bothering him very much. It's on the left hand. I'm pretty sure he's a right-handed shooter.
Yeah, he is.
All right, well, that's good news.
Good news,
that he's
yeah.
playing.
Definitely want to see him play, see what he can do, and does show that finger isn't that big of a problem, that he should be 100% good to go as long as it doesn't re-injure it or get it worse. Over in Spain should be good for season in November. Unfortunately, the link that we got has already been taken down.
Yeah, there's been a series. I don't know if there's been a series of these free Twitches sent out there, but there are free Twitches.
I watched about 2 minutes of it. Arkansas was up like 28-12.
Is this like akin to Pinto at the North Little Rock basketball game, just keeping the video stream going as long as he can before until
somebody shuts him down?
The police shut him down. So I wonder if somebody at Valencia what's the name of the basketball arena they're playing again? Something
ask.
Del Basket?
Valencia del La Basqueto?
No, you're making it up. There you go. Totally making it up, putting an O at the end.
Yeah, my high school Spanish teacher and all four of my college Spanish professors would be absolutely
La Alquiera.
disappointed right now.
I bet they wouldn't even recognize you because it sounds like you didn't show up for class.
Oh, I showed up. See,
you weren't always paying attention.
No, I was paying attention, and I got B's in all my Spanish because I can read and write it pretty well. I just can't speak it or hear it. You write out a sentence, I can tell you what it says. You tell me a sentence, no clue.
Yeah, the ability to speak the language verbally is a very important piece of this.
It is. It's a pretty big task when communication.
Oh, in today's day and age, a lot of people just get by on nothing but text messages, and that's it. So maybe that would be just enough.
Or, speak to text, or they have the translators. You
could walk around with a pocket translator.
Yeah, just talk into it, hold it up.
They have apps that do that now.
Yeah,
I would like to see your Spanish texting with speak to text. That would be highly entertaining. Heck, some of your English is entertaining too.
That is true.
La Alquiera del Basket.
Let's
is
master
the name of
English
this
before we
Alquiera.
start something else, right?
Hey, we just added another hour onto halftime. I think on
more
a weekly,
practice.
We need. I mean, we could bring back some of these old segments that we threw away about a year ago.
Hey, Drew? What's the Spanish translation for sunshine and ram bones?
I think it was rainbones.
Rainbones.
I don't think it was a rainbow, but it's close
I said
enough.
Rainbow. You have it up there. Play it again. It's rainbow.
I got to find it here. I got to get all your stuff in the system. I've got it all saved.
Thanks. It's so kind of you to save every mistake that I've ever made.
If you could make sure you've got the one about with Vegas is really good with the free lobster, and not that one, huh?
Well, apparently it's all sunshine and rainbows. I mean,
yeah, rainbows. That would be my favorite one. By the way, go ahead and look up rainbows on Urban Dictionary and have yourself a really good time.
Drew didn't invent that word.
I did not, and I didn't mean to say that. It says rainbows. I hear rainbows.
That word you
I
invented. You invented that one. I don't think you'd heard. You're not a regular on Urban Dictionary. You hadn't seen that used in a word before, in a sentence before.
I didn't mean to say rainbows if I did, but as I hear it with my own ear, it says rainbow. And I will say that it says rainbow until the end of time.
What we want.
Do you remember
You hear it as rainbow because y'all want to hear me mess
That's right.
up.
That's what I want to hear.
I want to hear me do correctly, so it's said correctly.
A few years ago, there was a word going around online where like half the people that heard it thought it was one word.
I've seen those. It's like the dress.
It's like the dress. Yeah. What color is the dress?
Honestly, it's both because depending on and like I saw the whole study behind it. Depends on what kind of mood you're in. That if you're more of in a more optimistic and bright mood, that you do see it as white and yellow, white and gold. And then if you're kind of dreary down, you see it as blue and black. It's supposed to be a trick of the mind.
Jay in Alma wants to know the score.
28-17.
I was just going to say 20. I mean, give him a partial score and leave it at that.
I think it was 28-12 when the stream went off on me.
Yanny or Laurel was the word.
That was the thing.
Yeah. Some people heard Yanny, some people heard Laurel.
I think
two words that sound nothing alike.
I always heard Laurel. Do we have a second to play it?
No, well probably not. We might have to wait until the next day. Hey, it's a good thing we got a third hour of halftime, man.
We can spend an hour on that.
Greg and Mulberry's dog barks in Spanish. That's interesting. How do you
know it's
How do you know what he's trying to say?
How does he translate it to the other dogs?
Maybe that's the biggest problem why my fiance's dog doesn't listen to me. She only speaks Spanish.
My cat
I need to try it.
You're not speaking her language.
You're right.
My cat meows in Klingon. I don't know anybody that understands what she's saying. That's just some. You would think she would find an English, some sort of language on this earth to speak to.
You got a dictionary lying around the house? Give it to her.
Not a Klingon one. Unfortunately, I'm not that big of a Trekkie, but I'm working on it just in case.
That's time well spent though, learning a language that's only used in television and movies.
That's a real language, man.
And people can fluently speak it.
There are.
Do you remember? Phil,
you go to Comic-Con, you're going to have people having an entire conversation.
Is there that many Star Trek episodes where they've covered enough words in Klingon to where you can have an actual legitimate conversation and not run out?
A full language.
The answer is yes. Now,
what's that in Klingon?
We're not big enough. We're not big enough Trekkies to be able to speak it, but we know that it's a thing, and cats apparently know the language too. All right, we're moving into the brand new. Better than ever, third hour of a Tuesday edition of Halftime After the Break. 877-377-6963 for your calls and your texts. A lot to get to, so it's a good thing we're doing another 60 minutes. Right back.
Picture another world, another dimension, where left is right, up is down, and chicken sandwiches only cost $1. This place exists, and it's called the Hardee's app. So when you buy one hand-breaded chicken sandwich, you get another for just $1. Cluck bait! It's time to fall for some cluck bait. Bite into the hand-breaded chicken menu only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants exclusively in the Hardee's app or website by registered My Rewards members. Tax not included. See app or website for additional terms and conditions.
Hello, this is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren. We are set and ready for all your spring and summer projects. We keep real samples of your Richards paint on file so we can be sure it matches every time. No computer can do that. The paint store in Van Buren. Color expertise and 34 years of knowledge outweighs all the competition. No other paint seller can do that. The paint store in Van Buren, Fayetteville Road, 474-4505.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Everyone loves great Tex-Mex. The best Tex-Mex around is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tex-Mex brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, pork belly tacos, and the best fajitas in town. And when the Hogs are on TV, it's always half-price apps and taps. Your favorite drinks and the best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms. We could see some periods of heavier rain, our high into the upper 80s. Tonight, a chance of some showers and storms early and overnight low upper 60s to low 70s. Wednesday, we will see a sunny start with showers, a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, our high into the upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 25 days. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Judge drills that. Deep center field. Kelnick looking up. It is gone. Number 44 for Aaron Judge. Doing damage in Seattle once again. And the march to history gets a little closer.
It's a pretty interesting situation going on in Pinstripes where Aaron Judge is on pace now for 65 home runs. He's at 44. Yankees have played 110 games. The American League record is still 61 home runs by Roger Maris in 1961. All these other
I did actually know that.
60 home run seasons since then have been from the National Leaguers. 3 by Sammy Sosa, 2 by Mark McGwire, and of course the record holder is Barry Bonds with 73. And you don't need me to remind you the cloud of suspicion that those three players are underneath. It's not even suspicion in these cases anymore. You know that they were on performance enhancers of some sort, different things, I think, for a few of them, for each of them. My question is, though, here, there's none of this innuendo circling around Aaron Judge or really around the game very much right now. So if Aaron Judge breaks 61 home runs and sets a new American League record, do you view his record as the real single-season record? Now, you can't erase what the record books say. You know, Bonds hit 73, and there was the 71 home run season, the 70 home run season. But you can see where I'm getting at here. If you want to look for legitimacy, I'm going down the list. Bonds, 73 home runs. McGwire, 70. Sosa hit 66. That was during the home run chase. 65 by McGwire in 99. Sosa hit 64 in 2001, and then 63 in 1999. You know, there used to be an asterisk next to Roger Maris's name because he had a season that was 8 games longer than Babe Ruth. Really just because the commissioner of baseball, then Ford Frick, was a ghostwriter for Babe Ruth and wasn't going to let anybody pass up Babe Ruth at that point. Do you view Aaron Judge with 62 home runs, if he gets there, as the real single-season home run record? Or is that just the one that you would view more legitimately? Like, you can't erase the fact that Bonds hit 73 in 1 year and has more career home runs than Hank Aaron. That's never going to change. But the perception of the record is different now than before the steroid era occurred. So I think without the questions around Aaron Judge's performance, or really around anybody right now with performance enhancers, not like you feel like everybody is clean. Somebody's probably using something and finding a way to get it around the detection. But there's none of this around Aaron Judge. It feels like it's more legitimate. It does feel like it's more legitimate because there aren't any pills, any cream, any clear, any injections of steroids or HGH or illegal things that the players have now bargained for in the collective bargaining agreement. And I think that overall, like, it will be an accepted record. You'd end up, like, in your mind, putting the asterisk next to Bonds, McGuire, and Sosa, whether they're in the Hall of Fame or not. And there wouldn't be an asterisk next to Aaron Judge. And you know me, like, I'm a huge Bonds fan. But without the performance enhancers, and I think Bonds was maybe one of the greatest hitters of all time, even without it. But there's always that cloud, not of suspicion, but of knowledge of what happened there around that. There isn't any of that around Aaron Judge. That makes it a little more legitimate.
It does. It creates and ultimately it creates a better look for the game. You know, you want it to be legitimate. You want to say that the guy that hit 62 is legitimately better than Babe Ruth and Roger Maris. Like, to be able to say that is truly incredible because of the black eye that steroids gave the game of baseball in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and, you know, even throughout a lot of the 2000s. I think we've just gotten past what would be considered the steroids era, you know, probably only 5 to 10 years ago. So it's still something that the game is reeling from, and this would be a huge thing to kind of get it back to that legitimate reputation that I think it lost in the minds of a lot of people. And you answered your question. I mean, you really did. You talked about, would it be looked at as a more legitimate record? Yes, because whether you like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa or not, whether you want to erase those statistics from the record book or not, it's always going to be talked about. It's always going to be brought up. You're never going to be able to have a conversation about Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, whether it's around the season single record, whether it's around the most home run record that Barry Bonds holds. You're never going to be able to have a conversation without the word steroids in it. So this obviously is more legitimate to me.
Well, there have been 8 seasons with 60 home runs hit by a single player. 6 of them occurred from 1998 through 2001, and they're the 3 players I mentioned. And I understand, like, steroids don't make it easier for you to have the hand-eye coordination that it takes to hit major league pitching.
Gives you the strength to get it out, though.
It's different than just the strength. It's the ability to recover. It's the ability to stay at closer to 100% physically. You know, when other players might be a little lower than that in August, in September, when you've played 120 and 130 games. There's no coincidence that 6 out of the 8 seasons of 60 home runs or more by one player occurred in a span of 3 years when nobody was getting tested. And look, if you put Barry Bonds, if you take the cream and the clear away from Barry Bonds, does he hit 73 home runs in 2001? Chances are no, absolutely not. Would he have had a great year at age 36, you know, in 2001? Probably so. Bonds was a great athlete. He was a great hitter before he started using it, a stupendous idea of the strike zone. But he doesn't hit 73 home runs. Nor does Sammy Sosa hit 63, 64, and 66. So the steroids don't make you the hitter. It amplifies the hitter that you are. It amplifies the athlete that you are. It turns somebody who's great into somebody who, gets talked into the conversation then of being the greatest of all time. It does amplify your talent. And that's why I want to believe Judge isn't using anything. I don't have any reason to feel that he is. There's nothing being reported on this. And it feels a little bit more legitimate if a 60 home run season were to come, any other time than during that steroid era. And I think Aaron Judge's American League record, it won't be viewed as the Major League record. Like I said, you can't erase the numbers. These guys hit the home runs. They were Major League players at that time. You're not going to erase that out of the record book. Maybe there's an asterisk thrown in there at some point, but, to those who paid attention, you look at those numbers and you always give it a yeah, but. There's always a yeah, but thrown in front of Sammy Sosa's career, in front of McGuire's career, in front of Bonds' career. There isn't that in front of Aaron Judge, and that's my point.
No, and that makes a great point. That's exactly what I was trying to, get across, is that you can't have a conversation about any of those guys in that era. I'm not saying all of them, because, you talk about a great hitter in Ken Griffey Jr. You can have a conversation about Ken Griffey Jr.'s career without ever mentioning the word steroids. You can't do that with Barry Bonds. You can't do that with Sammy Sosa. Mark McGuire. Looking at some of the other people, pretty high on this list. You can't have that conversation about steroids without Alex Rodriguez. When you talk about him, you have to bring that up. It was such a thing in the game, and I get the point of, everybody was doing it. It was a way to stay into the game. It was a way to keep your body going. It was more for recovery. I get all of that, but it doesn't make what you did right, and it doesn't make what you did legitimate. And that's the whole thing about the conversation when it comes to steroids and baseball. And just, it's more of just, athletic integrity. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean you should. It goes back to that old saying that we've been told our entire lives. Well, if all your friends jump off a bridge, would you do it? It's kind of just one of those things of, it's just viewed as morally wrong to where they'll never be able to escape that. And when anyone's talking about their career,
we're at a point now where historically you can look back and see how the steroid era totally changed the way that you can view baseball statistics historically. It's like that 15-year period between 1995 and 2010 is like walking through a house of mirrors. Totally distorts, that 15-year period from every other period in the course of baseball history. And you're back into the point now where hitting 60 home runs is an incredibly special thing. Like, this doesn't happen very much. You know how often it happened before? 1999, twice. And then it happened 6 years. 6 times in a 3-year period. Go ahead and tell me that those drugs didn't have something to do with it. They did. And again, it doesn't take away the fact that they hit those home runs. It just changes the way that we perceive those home runs, and we perceive the home runs hit by Aaron Judge right now. 877-377-6963 on halftime. Go ahead, Drew.
Can we throw in the but? He is playing at Yankee Stadium. And he hits a lot of those homers to right field.
Well, so did Roger Maris and Babe Ruth. And they had a shorter porch to right field.
That is true. That is true. Okay. I was just trying to throw in one last little but when it comes to this record. Because, that will be talked about. If somebody does it at Yankee Stadium or say like somebody did it in playing half of their games in Denver.
I get it. But a home run is a home run, though. But the Yankee Stadium that Ruth and Maris played in was short. I think it was less than 300 feet down the right field line.
Is it really?
I think so. If it wasn't, it was darn close to 300 feet. And Judge isn't hitting in quite that great of a hitter situation. All right, I want to remind you about, it is Tuesday. You know what's going on at Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith? Well, you already know. Taco Tuesday. You've probably already been there. You've probably already gotten your $1 tacos. You probably already paid $2.95 for a pork carnita taco. You probably already ate a couple of brisket or pork belly tacos for $3.95. And, of course, you paid $3.25 for your craft drink. That's all day long at Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. You can go to joesfortsmith.com to order or download the Waiter app to do the same, or just give them a visit across from Harps in Fort Smith, Joe's Grill and Cantina. We got a caller on hold. Let's go to the phones. Who we got here? Hi, caller. You're on the air. I don't know who this is. It is Eli.
Yeah, I texted you about it.
Oh, you got it. All right. Hi, Eli. How are you?
Pretty good. You're talking about animals knowing different languages and, speaking different languages. I carry mail to the post office, and this one lady has a couple of giant mastiffs and pit bulls, and they're always kind of rambunctious and running around. And I told them to sit in Spanish, and they all sat down. And so I've made a mental note to if the customer is a Spanish speaker to tell the dog to sit in Spanish, and they'll always sit. They'll just sit right down. But you tell them to sit in English, and they just keep running around, having fun, doing whatever they want. It's hilarious.
So just a quick sentarse, and you're okay, if I'm saying this correctly? Well,
That is
good.
interesting.
It's good to know. Have you met any animals that speak Klingon?
No, I have not, because I don't know Klingon. But I don't think where I'm at there'd be anybody speaking Klingon out here in the sticks.
Well, some of them might end up at Comic-Con, and then they will be certainly speaking Klingon. Yeah. Appreciate the phone call. Nice to talk to you, Eli.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And maybe throw in a little Italian and French into those animals as well. You're going to learn a few more languages. All right, quick break. More halftime after this.
Make a ride on memory lane and drive untaken. You feel the pain at the river of tears. Take one last turn.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on Senior Walk, and our blood flows razorback red. For 100 years we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kymco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports. Keeping the good times rolling.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all your fishing gear for summer trips at the lake or river. Check out the fishing kayaks by Old Town and New Canoe. Summer savings up to $300 off select model. Get ready for fall archery season now with a new bow by Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, and Bowtech. Jelco has the largest selection of box blinds for fall hunting. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors during the good old summertime. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5, at paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Westhart Plumbing says thank you to all their friends and customers who call 646-5151 for fast, professional plumbing work. They're here to help and ready to serve everyone in the River Valley. Westhart Plumbing proudly keeps professionals working around the clock to fix leaks, clogs, and other problems. So during your summer fun, if you notice slow drains, drippy pipes, or leaky faucets, Westhart Plumbing can fix the problem. Just call 646-5151. Westhart Plumbing and Expert Drain Cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
You know, usually I'm the one who's giving you the updates on scores, on plays, on everything happening in a Razorback basketball, football, or baseball game. You're the ones that are informing us today. Mm-hmm. We haven't spent the money for Flow Sports. Our Twitch stream dropped 2 minutes into it, so we're getting updates from listeners, and the roles have been reversed. 58-31 Razorbacks at the half, says Neil in Fort Smith, as Arkansas opens their European tour against Valencia Selección, and they're up 58-31 at halftime. Nick Smith Jr. is playing. There you go. Good news there. And Muss has gotten a technical, according to our listeners. And I'm just trusting our listeners. Should I trust them or not? I'm going to
say yes.
I'll say yes. Okay, so Muss has gotten a technical. And that's midseason form, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. And you know he probably went into this game thinking he's going to get a technical because why not? You might as well see what will and will not work. I know there might be a little bit of a language barrier, but you got to figure out where that line is early into the season.
We know
apparently he crossed it today.
There are certain English words that will get you a technical
Bull Durham told me
really,
about it.
really quickly. And I don't know how to say these words in other languages. I don't know if Muss is I'm sure these officials speak English. I'm just guessing that they can speak English.
I'm guessing so.
All right, so he must have been able to say something in a very special way, English-wise. One technical, though not two. Midseason form is getting 1T, not getting thrown out of an exhibition game in Spain. Oh, man. That's good stuff. That'd be reason alone just to see Muss getting all fired up as we do during regular season games. That'd be enough maybe for the price of admission.
Well, Rick in Fayetteville is also saying that Flow Sports quality is really good for being in such a small gym, and the little bit that we watched on Twitch, it actually was decent quality. Wasn't a lot of static, no shaking of the screen. That was one of the biggest, complaints or worries about this whole thing is how good of the quality are you going to get? Is it going to crash? When is the problems going to happen? Hopefully they made it through one half. Still got one more half to go, but hopefully for everybody that did pony up the money, they could make it through at least game one out of 4 without any trouble.
People will go through hell and back to watch their favorite team on a stream, and especially when it comes to their children. Well, I don't know. My kid his games aren't streamed. Gabriel, at 10 years old, didn't have his Little League games streamed, but I see plenty of other parents, and I love this. I'm not saying this with any negativity whatsoever. They will, you'll watch the game. You'll watch a Little League game from afar on your phone, and it's much worse quality, I think, than what you get from Flow Sports. But who cares? Because you feel like you're watching a big moment for your kid, and for Flow Sports, I guess it had a little bit of that same feel. The other aspect too is like so many I didn't watch Flow Sports baseball broadcast because I'm there, but I know that many of the complaints are that the announcers don't know the players or don't know how to pronounce Arkansas players' names or are biased against them. Like
that's any broadcast.
Brett Dolan and Matt Zimmerman are not biased against the Razorbacks. They are telecasting this game. I think Z is going to be doing all 4 games. I think Brett has 3 out of the 4, and they're Razorback employees as well. So, yeah, they're biased for Arkansas in this case. A little bit different than usual, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely different, but it's the way that everybody apparently wants it to be. Because outside of radio broadcasts, I've never been able to go through a full Arkansas game, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball, and be on Twitter at the same time and not see the words of announcers against us. They hate us. Hating Arkansas. Another example of everybody's against Arkansas. Everybody wants to see little old Arkansas fail. So apparently, I guess if you just want to be spoon-fed the type of broadcast, then this is it for you.
Well, maybe the problem as far as Muss was concerned is that the officials at the arena in Valencia del Basket are biased towards Selección. They would have to be, right? They speak the same language.
I mean, if there's going to be bias shown towards one of them.
Probably officiated some of these games before. It's not quite like you're bringing SEC officials with you across the pond. So maybe that's why Muss got the technical. And then again, Stacy says maybe he did it because he wanted to see how the players react and respond.
That could be it as well.
That would work as well, yes. 877-377-6963 on halftime. I got a question, and the question might be answered after the break. Who's got the best walkout song in Major League Baseball? Mets closer Edwin Diaz might have a leg up on everybody else. We'll get to that next.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
The Pittsburgh Steelers had never traded up in the first round of the NFL draft until 2003, offering up their 27th, 92nd, and 200th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs for their 16th pick. With that 16th pick, the Steelers chose USC's Troy Polamalu, a decision that paid off for years. Polamalu was part of 2 Super Bowl victories, and in 2020, he was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
Your team wouldn't waste time interviewing 30 linemen if they wanted to draft a cornerback, right? The same is true when you're looking for your next teammate. LinkedIn Jobs taps into a network of over 770 million professionals to find you the right people. LinkedIn Jobs helps you narrow down to the most qualified candidates so you can start hiring the right people faster. Go to linkedin.com/sports to post your job for free. That's linkedin.com/sports. linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet at Golden Corral. Come in and enjoy the endless breakfast buffet with carved ham, tender pork chops, pancakes, French toast, made-to-order eggs and omelets, and, of course, the biscuits and gravy. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 8 to 9:30, seniors get all this plus a drink for only $8.99. Golden Corral, 1801 South Waldron, Fort Smith. Order online at goldencorral.com for curbside pickup or delivery. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
The summer sell-out sales event is going on right now at Breen RV in Van Buren. New 2023 models are starting to arrive from Forest River, Keystone, Coachman, and StarCraft, all backed by Breen RV's free maintenance for life program. Cure your summertime blues in a 29-foot StarCraft that sleeps up to 10 people for just $229 a month with zero down. With savings up to $20,000 off MSRP on new travel trailers, now is the best time to get your new RV from Breen RV. That's Breen RV in Van Buren, where adventures begin.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Gonna pack up some of these empties here just as soon as we know where they lay. Tired of them Johnny and leaving lines on a long hot summer day.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Suonali per mari che han con te venduto vissoter con me e sa magnifico.
Why the heck is anybody playing opera singing on a sports radio show? Well, that's because Chance Lytle, who is an offensive lineman for the Duke Blue Devils, performed that yesterday in front of his teammates in the locker room, and they apparently loved every minute of it. Like I can fake singing opera. I think we all can. That sounded like the real thing. And maybe he's not quite Pavarotti, but
no,
he was pretty good.
I mean, he's now the second most famous football player that is also an opera singer, behind Justin Tucker, kicker for the Baltimore Ravens. He's actually done stuff with like the symphony and stuff in Baltimore and in D.C. So it's pretty impressive. I mean, dude's got some pipes, and it made me think, what athlete at Arkansas do you think could secretly be an opera singer? I mean,
Dalton Wagner. I believe Wagner could do it. Yeah. And there's something about the idea that he is, he had that internship with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe professional wrestling is in the offing if professional football isn't for Wagner. And so that means he's got a sense of the dramatic. He'd be a good performer. That doesn't mean he can sing, but I would kind of like to see. I would like to see like the Undertaker, because that's what I see when I see Dalton Wagner, the next Undertaker, perform, like being able to sing with a deep opera voice like that. These things don't always go together, but when I saw this Duke offensive lineman, I'm thinking, well, offensive lineman, big deep voice,
Got
the
the
ability to
diaphragm
hold
for
a
it,
lot
right?
of breath inside that body. I'm thinking Dalton Wagner.
Okay. I could definitely see that. I mean, an opera singer, not only do you have to be able to sing, you have to be able to perform. And we know he can't. He has training in performance. So maybe one does translate to the other. But I always do find it really cool when you find out like people's secret hidden talents. Like, you see that guy, it's just as obviously he's really smart. He plays football at Duke. But you see him as a football player, and it just is another reminder to show how just all different and unique we really are. And I love to find out people's secret talents. Like, what's
we had a
your
player with the
secret one?
Travelers. We had a player with the Travelers named Roberto Lopez, and it wasn't a secret talent. Like his teammates knew about this. Not every, how some hotels, the really fancy ones, will have a piano out there in the lobby.
Yes.
And when I took the kids up to Michigan, there was just a random piano in the lobby as I'm in the middle of a phone call with somebody. And then the next thing you know, some lady just sits down and starts playing the piano out of the blue. That's what Roberto did.
Nice.
But there was only one hotel where there was a piano in the lobby, and it was the Holiday Inn in Springdale. So every time the Travelers would go up and play there, his teammate, like this was a thing.
They wanted him to perform.
Traveler teammates would gather around the piano to hear Roberto twinkle the fingers, and it was a beautiful sound.
Did he sing as well?
He didn't sing. I don't think he was much of a singer. That would have been me.
That's fine.
I didn't get there. We never performed together. Unfortunately, it was a lost opportunity.
See, I wish that's one of those things that I always wish I was able to do was have some form of musical talent. I can't play an instrument. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. Can't even really keep a rhythm for all that long. So drums are completely out. Like it's just one of those things. Like I'm jealous of my brother. My brother just randomly picked up a guitar like 3 years ago and now is a pretty decent guitarist. Like I just don't have that musical bone in my body, and it does suck.
Let's see, hidden talents.
I can juggle.
Talents?
Does that count as a hidden talent?
I can juggle too. Where'd you learn?
I taught myself how to juggle being a pitcher only, being a PO.
Oh, I was going to say being a goofball.
You have a lot of time sitting there in the dugout by yourself or with your teammates on days that you're not pitching. So I figured might as well learn something other than just watching do something other than just watching my teammates or running polls. So I learned how to juggle. I can juggle 4 decently, but I'm really, really good at 3.
4's difficult, man.
I've gotten 4 down. Don't ask me to do it for a couple minutes. I can probably do it for maybe like 20 to 30 seconds. I can do 3 for a long time, though.
Any chance you can juggle dangerous things like swords, knives, or fire?
I've never tried fire, chainsaws, or swords. The most dangerous things that I've ever tried were probably like soup cans or vegetable cans because it's a different shape. It's a different weight than baseballs. I learned doing baseballs and, cornhole bags is one that I'm really good at too.
Yeah, that's nice and safe, though.
Oh, yeah. I've never tried anything dangerous, but I can juggle 4, just not for very long.
Maybe some very sharp knives. Maybe some,
probably not the best idea.
Juggle a cup.
I don't want to make everybody's insurance premiums go up.
Maybe juggle
here.
3 cups of coffee at the same time. I'd be very impressed with that. Juggle babies. No, I don't do that. I don't think that's a very good idea.
No, we're not juggling no babies.
No. Yeah, I can juggle too. I learned how to do that.
And why'd you decide to learn to juggle? Just out of boredom or just wanted to do it?
I learned on a vacation. Parents took us to a Club Med a long time back, and they had a circus camp there, and they taught me how to juggle.
Circus camp? That's
circus camp. Yeah. If you ever wondered why I'm so clownish on this show, they taught me how to do it there, minus the face paint and the creepy smiles. Yeah, that's where I learned that. All right, I wanted to play this. Maddie, you see on H2S2.
Yes, I've got it ready.
Best walkout song in Major League Baseball. I feel like this is up there with Hell's Bells and Enter Sandman, and for Kevin Kopps fans, of course, Heat Waves. This is what Edwin Diaz, maybe the best closer in Major League Baseball, walks out to. Get a listen. The song is called Narco by Blaster Jacks. The trumpet player is known as Timmy Trumpet. It's totally different from what you might expect from like a dominant closer. You know, you had He had Mariano Rivera walk out to Enter Sandman, which is just a frightening song when it comes down to it, the way it opens up and builds. Same with Hell's Bells.
This is a calling in the cavalry type of song. Like, we're calling in the guy.
Yeah.
With the trumpet. I think that's one thing that makes it such a good closer song. But Enter Sandman, that would probably, if you ever asked me before Diaz now, what was the best walk out of the bullpen song? Probably would have been Enter Sandman, especially because Mariano Rivera backed it up every single night. So it was intimidating because you hear that song, you know who's coming for you.
Well, and he just make them look foolish. I mean, his batters knew that there was going to be a broken batter 5 in that one inning from that cutter. And I like this song, this Narco by Blaster Jackson, Timmy Trumpet reminds me. I heard so many Latino players in the minor leagues that would walk out to a song called Gasolina.
Oh, love Gasolina.
You know that one too,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that one was really cool. I always love a good intro song for a relief pitcher. This is not, though, the one that you would like have selected. You're thinking hard rock, heavy metal, something to strike fear in the opponents. But I guess just the fact that Diaz is warming up in the bullpen should strike fear in them enough. This guy has struck out 91 batters in 45 1/3 innings. That means he's averaging over 2 strikeouts per inning. I don't know how you do that. I honestly don't know how you do this.
I mean,
how
it's
do you
impressive.
average you get 3 outs per inning. He's getting an average of 2 of them by strikes. Admittedly, he's pitching like 1 inning at a time, but I don't care. For 2 out of every 3 outs you record to come on strikes, that is the definition of dominance. Plus a 1.39 ERA, a whip of 0.86, and 26 saves and 29 opportunities. It's another reason why the Mets may be the team to beat in the National League, although the Dodgers certainly are a team to beat, and the way the St. Louis Cardinals have played recently, and they get the Rockies later on tonight, they may be a team to beat as well.
That's the great thing about baseball. I think that you've got exciting races on both sides. You just talk about the National League. You look over the American League. Yeah, the Yankees kind of have run away with it a little bit, but there's still a lot of excitement. And I had dinner with my dad last night as he was headed up this way for work. And, you know, I know that you are that weird fan that really does like to see his team lose. You like to wallow in misery. But it really has been so great to have my team back in it, to where, like, my dad was talking about how he not just stumbles or thinks about watching, you know, the MLB Network outpitch or something like that. He seeks it out. Like, he has to watch it. And it's so much fun, not just to see what your team did, but you got to know what Toronto's doing. I got to know what the Guardians are doing. I have to know what the Mariners did today. Like, it's so much fun to finally be back in a race and to actually care about baseball in August, Phil. Like I said, I know you're all about how bad can the Pirates be, but this is actually fun.
It's a reverse pennant race as far as I'm concerned with the Pirates. It's just got to find a way to get behind, not in front of, behind the Washington Nationals. And what do I have here on them? They are 8 games in front of the Nationals for second to last place in the National League. Great to see the Buccos fall into dead last, a half game behind the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. And I need them to be behind the Nationals if for no other reason than they can screw up another first overall pick, because that's basically what they've done every time they've gotten it. All right, we're going to take a very quick break on halftime and coming back to wrap things up right after this.
Take my hand, off to Never Land.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111, Hablamos Espanol.
It's time to call the Hogs with head coach Sam Pittman and Razorback football. Single game tickets are now on sale for one of the best home schedules in program history, including the home opener against Cincinnati and marquee matchups with South Carolina, Alabama, LSU, and more.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Witness the next great Razorback moment by securing your seat for the biggest games before they're gone at ArkansasRazorbacks.com or call 1-800-982-HOGS.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has two locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros right away. 479-309-3998. That's 479-309-3998.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and Eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. In the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
I want to thank Cheap Sleep Furniture for their sponsorship of Halftime. Got a lumpy mattress. If your mattress is caved in or is just old and uncomfortable, stop by Cheap Sleep Furniture. They're your number one place for name brand mattresses, and you get up to 75% off retail. Pillow top, hybrid, firm, medium, plush, bed in a box, you name it, they've got it at Cheap Sleep Furniture and living room sets. You can get a new sofa set or sectional for only $8.99 today. and a large same-day selection around, and they'll guarantee you'll love something you find at Cheap Sleep Furniture, open 7 days a week in Bentonville, Springdale, and Fort Smith. Cheap Sleep Furniture, shop local, shop Cheap Sleep. Serena Williams, before we got on the air today, penned a column in Vogue magazine announcing that she will retire at the end of the U.S. Open tournament. So it's about a month left for her professional career. She made a really good point, too. I mean, for one, this is the greatest tennis player of our time. Female, maybe both genders. And she made a point in this column that she feels like, remember, she won Wimbledon in 2017 while pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, that baby is now 5 years old, and it sounds like she wants a sibling, too, and Serena is interested in giving her a sibling. She did make a really good point. If she's Tom Brady or a male athlete, she would be able to continue her career and let her wife, do the raising of the child, essentially. And it's
biology kind of gets in the way of that, though.
It does get in the way, obviously, but and this is her choice. She could have postponed a second child till later on, but that's not always the easiest thing to do in your 40s. I think it's a really good point, though, to show how legacies of male athletes, in which she points to Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the greatest football player ever, probably. It's tough to say against any other way, but he's got children. He didn't have to carry them. I know he does. I know he's a father at the same time, but Giselle will do the heavy lifting during football season. And it just goes to show some of these discrepancies in allowable legacies for female athletes and for male athletes. But in this case, it's really just an ability now to say so long to somebody who has been as dominant as anybody I've ever imagined during my lifetime in a sport, and done it in a way that's been entertaining, powerful, and stylish too. I don't think anybody ever looked quite like Serena, and that might be the direction that she's going. I know she's a fashion magnet, not just a fashion line, but that's one thing she's pretty dominant in at the same time.
Oh, definitely, and she definitely would be up there, with Roger Federer, with the Joker, and with Tiger Woods in another individual type of sport as being some of the most dominant players of their era of basically winning any time that they were out competing. And she has had an amazing career, but and while I think family is very important too, I also think that the competition that she's playing against, I think that her just ability, I think Father Time is kind of one with Serena Williams, because she hasn't played very well in the last year. She's been knocked out of tournaments very, very early.
Well, there was a hamstring
she's had
too,
she's had injury. So this is another example that outside of Tom Brady, Father Time really does win. And I'm not saying that she still couldn't be a top-notch athlete or couldn't be somebody that has an amazing comeback and is able to win more majors or more tournaments. But the writing is on the wall that it's going to be over soon if it's not already. So great career by Serena. I wish her and her family nothing but happiness and success going forward. But it also has seemed like it's just time, and it when you see it in some athletes. It's time.
Her career's longer than Tiger too. She's a professional tennis player at age 14 in 1995. She'll turn 41 later on this month. 73 singles titles, 4 Olympic golds, and was number one for 319 weeks, plus 23 major titles. Needs one more to time Margaret Court's all-time record, and we'll have the one last major, the U.S. Open, in order to do it. Dustin in Mansfield also points out that's right. Executive produced an Academy Award-winning film, King Richard. That was
been meaning to watch that.
And the fact that what happened at the award ceremony with the guy who played her father smacking around Chris Rock totally overshadowed. That's why I didn't even remember. That they won the award.
I didn't either. I could not have told you that before Dustin texted in, because of, like you said, everything that did just overshadow it. I've heard it's a good movie. Have you seen it? I haven't watched
Nope,
it yet.
have not. It's
Maddie, you're the movie guy. Have you seen it yet?
I actually don't have any interest in watching it.
Well,
okay.
Well, there you go. I'd be interested in watching it if for no other reason than
I heard it
seeing
wasn't that good.
A performance by
But it won an
by
award.
Will Smith that won an award and got him into the situation that none of us will ever forget.
I'm boycotting Will Smith.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well,
he's dead to me.
Hey,
I
that
think
big
you're
of a
not-
Chris Rock fan?
I think you're not the
I
only
love
one who,
Chris
who
Rock.
feels
I
that
do
way.
too, but Will Smith's got some really good movies out there.
When my kids finally have seen Men in Black for the first time,
What'd they think?
Loved it. In fact, I think they've watched it 2 or 3 times over the last 4 days. That's how much they loved it so much.
Men in Black sequels, not bad, not bad. I definitely wouldn't put them in the category of Caddyshack 2, or what was the one we were talking about earlier?
Grease 2.
Grease 2.
You even liked the one with Chris Hemsworth and.
I haven't seen before. I haven't seen that one.
So-
I've just seen the 3 with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Who was it that reminded us earlier today on the text line that Grease 2 is where the girl, the female
She the
Michelle
greaser?
Pfeiffer was the quote unquote bad one.
Oh,
and the John Travolta character. It's kind of reversed it a little bit. That's like the only thing I remembered about that movie is that it wasn't as good as Grease,
Mm-hmm.
and that Michelle Pfeiffer played the lead, and she wasn't quite Olivia Newton-John. And
well, who among us is Olivia
the
Newton-John?
kids tell me
Phil?
it's still good. My kids tell me it's still a good movie.
I've seen Grease 100 times. I've never watched Grease 2.
Oh,
and the opportunity's been there plenty of times.
By the way, after the conversation that we had about Caddyshack a few weeks ago, I did make myself watch the second one. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that
2
goes-
hours of my life that I'll never get back.
That's on the list.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. The worst movie I've ever seen is still that gymnastic movie that you made me watch.
American Anthem.
That was still the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Is there even a movie sequel that either of you can think that was better than the original?
Well, everybody
Godfather
always goes to
2.
Godfather
Oh, okay.
2.
I mean, that's just the easiest one right off the top of my head. 'cause it
Empire
is
Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back.
it's
You
pretty
could make a
good.
case was better than the original Star Wars.
That's
A
up
New
there.
Hope.
I don't think anybody would say Jaws 2 is better.
I probably rewatch Back to the Future Part 2 more than the first one.
It's not as good as the first one, though.
I wouldn't,
really.
and that's the thing. I don't think I'd say it's better than the first one. It doesn't exist without the first one.
B.E. in Clarksville says Smokey and the Bandit 2. I've never seen Smokey and the Bandit.
You know, there's
so I
a
haven't seen
Smokey and the
second one either.
Bandit Part 3, and
It's got Burt Reynolds in it, right?
I think they use like extra footage that.
Yeah, when the
It doesn't
original
know- it doesn't
stars,
make
when
sense,
the
or-
original
It's all-
stars aren't in the sequel, there's no use watching
It's all
it.
Jerry Reed, and when I was watching it, I thought it was like Smokey and the Bandit, the TV series. It was that far from being the movie.
Ryan in Conway makes a legit point here. Now, Terminator was great. Terminator 2
Way
was
better.
mind blowing.
There you go. That was a good. Yep. Terminator 2, I think, is way better than the first.
I haven't seen the Terminator movies.
Whoa, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
Whoa.
go. There's a halftime foul.
All right, halftime homework coming back just for me to watch Terminator.
Eventually, we're going to have to bring halftime homework back here because in 3 hours, like that's the one previous segment we haven't broken out that I feel might still pay some dividends to educate you a little bit. If you haven't seen Terminator movies, at least the first one, how do you even know what I'll be back
479. I've never seen the Lethal Weapon movies either.
How do you even know what "I'll be back" means?
Well,
I mean,
because
come on,
I've
these
been
are-
alive the last 40 years, Phil. I
It's
pick
been
up on pop culture.
referenced in many other.
Yeah,
movies.
I've watched television and other forms of entertainment in the last 40 years. I'm pretty sure I get the reference.
All right, anybody got an update on the basketball game? Is it over yet? I imagine there's another 30 minutes left or so in Arkansas versus Valencia Selección. We saw
Where are
them
they
up
playing
big
at?
time at the break. Oh, what's the name of our arena that they're playing at today? It is being played at La Alqueria del Basquet. That wasn't in Klingon either. At some point, we'll have a whole segment in Klingon, and aren't you excited about that? Thanks for being on for another 3-hour edition of Halftime. We get to do this all again tomorrow. Have yourself a great rest of the day and try to stay dry out there. But hey, the rain is here, and thank goodness for that. For Drew and Maddie, this is Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.